It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me much money I done spent in here, nigga? I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Fade that nigga. Shit. Bet the bar. Off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
And every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. Loud.
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herman, man. Now her mind is fucked.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herman, man. Now her mind is fucked.
Well, gotta get a piece of mind.
For what he has.
Your feet. He looked down, seen her feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway. But I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're... I've seen a lot of black guys. I've seen a lot of black guys. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
Dance with me. Dance with me.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yeah.
You're a philosopher? You're a philosopher? You're a philosopher?
Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me what it is.
I don't mean to be out of line. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? What's all that noise? Oh, that's his dad.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Come with baggage, just I ain't slow. Come with baggage, just I ain't slow. We was on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right. Come with baggage, just I ain't slow. We was on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right.
I think we OD. I think we OD.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
Look my word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. Look my word, 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 look my word.
That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the duke. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the duke. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the duke.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know. Guess it was underlying. Slapping folks is satisfying. She don't like me, but I didn't know. Guess it was underlying.
Lean and buck, lean, buck, lean, buck. Lean and buck, lean, buck, lean, buck.
To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, in the middle. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. As I'm giving the thanks to all the woods, we give thanks. We burn the woods because we live in the wood. It's no doubt about that. Why do you think they used to have tree houses? Because we still live in the tree houses. Well, if you've never watched me before, I go by the name of Big Pontiac. You may have caught one of my older shows on my old channel where I have several names, but Time Lord is probably my oldest name on YouTube. So getting started. Well, I guess I'm not ready to get started. My beverage is hidden. I seem to hid it from myself. Maybe it's in the hallway. Give me a second. All right. It wasn't far from me. Y'all know how I start. Damn. It's colder. One of them was in the freezer, so I know it's colder. So y'all know how I start. I give the love to Great Lakes Elliott Nest. Great Lakes Elliott Nest is the finest ambrosia in the land. Pop them if you got them. And what is the Elliott Nest without the perfect glass? Cheers. Cheers to everybody. And definitely, I'm on these herb gummies. I had one about an hour ago now, I guess. So smoke them if you want them. Well, I'm going to start off, showing you, I'm sorry I didn't come on yesterday, but I went down to Iowa City, Iowa. And this is where the University of Iowa is. I wasn't involved with the University of Iowa, but I was down there. And I was down there to support my daughter. And so I'm going to show you a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I can probably show it all. But this is kind of, I got down there at 10. We didn't leave till 6. And then by the time we ate dinner, we didn't I didn't get home until, it's only 4 hours. It was 4 hours away. So it wasn't too bad a trip. Only 4 hours, but this is what my daughter did, her and her group. And I'm the supportive kind of dad. Like to dance? Come on, do the cha-cha. Shorty Spanish, so she like to call me Papa. True fact. So this is I think the music kind of works with it. They might get me for the music. Had to kick off the list, I'm playing soccer. Why you acting Jamaican? You're not even a roster. If you really a Jamaican, make the pasta. I'm just a nigga, everybody catch a vibe with. Stay out the way, cause I don't like to be in nonsense. You talking about me, then you worry about the wrong shit. If I put you in a song, it'll be a long list. I'm thinking long term, talking about the Forbes list. But if we talking right now, you make the poll list. Facts. It's time to switch the flow. Now I heard you talk to bro. Bet you thought I didn't know. It's okay, you not a hoe. Cause I did the give and go. I don't want this combo to end you. All right, so this is what I did yesterday. On the other side of this was packed with parents, and this is what I did all day. And yeah, so this is where I was from 10 a.m. until 6. And we left. I had to get up at 5 in the morning. We was on the road at 6 o'clock, and we got down there about 10 to 10. So she hadn't performed yet. What's interesting, and you guys probably don't know, is they still do marching. They still do the model walk. I mean, there's still competition for the model walk. So a lot of people would be into the marching. You march, you show that you can march on time. And it's like they do a cross. Now, what's interesting about the model walk is pretty much you walk angles. And you keep that total. And it's like if you've ever watched any beauty contest, this is what they teach you. When you turn, like your body may be turned, but you still face the judges and you smile. And they kind of walk angles. So you walk an angle and you turn your head and you smile at the judges. Then you pose. I mean, this is still amazing. Now, what's amazing about Baton, if my daughter sticks with it, I watched, I want to say it was Ohio State or Alabama. I forget. And I mentioned this when I watched it. They had like 20 twirlers. Now, where my daughter was when we went to Duluth, they only had 3. Ohio State had like 10 twirlers too. And these are all scholarship positions, you do understand, that can have any NILs. So I'm the supportive parents, the coaches is used to seeing me at the events that I did come down and I support her. But I must make a proclamation. Now, I think we can all be in agreement, and I'll do the disclaimer. I have family in this state. But I think we can all be in agreement. The ugliest people in America live in Wisconsin. I mean, I after going there for close to 20 years every weekend, I would see ugly parents over and over again bring in ugly children. So I'd have 2 teams of at least 12 children each, all ugly. And think about it, all these 12 children on each team has at least 1 or 2 parents. So we're talking about basically 20-some ugly people, plus the ugly children. And then the refs, well, we would be the refs, and we look better than everybody there. So, but what's interesting about where I just went is, and I don't know if it's like this in other sports, but it's like you have the most unhealthy looking mothers really being pushy on this baton. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many. Now, I can't say I went around the town. I went a couple places and didn't see college students because it is the college time of year. So, but for the people that look like they're from Iowa, I saw a lot of out of shape parents pushing their children, and maybe they're pushing their children into not being out of shape. So I just want to say that it's just interesting to see all these out of shape mamas, at least not wanting their children to be out of shape. I guess that's the best way. Kabachisama, the Warriors, somebody forgot how to play defense. Thank you for joining. Yeah, that game wasn't exciting at all. Thank you for joining. I know you definitely must have.
You got to have vision.
And we have Walter Walking Jesus. What's happening? And to be up this late, you definitely got to have.
You got to have vision.
And El Reborn Amaru Khan, what's happening? Thank you. It's always good to see you.
You got to have vision.
Jamar 3224, thank you for coming. The new Gunna Bittersweet song is good. Yeah, Gunna. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out too. But yeah, most of his work is pretty decent. Even though isn't he living in protective custody or some shit? James Gant, thank you for joining. And I know up this late.
You got to have vision.
How you drinking coffee? I used to get Wisconsin Dells. Oh yeah, the Dells is cool. That's the other direction. Yeah, the Wisconsin Dells is like really 4 hours in the other direction would take me to the Dells, and the Dells is like blocks of water parks. Like you go to like downtown, the little town where it is, and you got blocks of water park, indoor, outdoor. So they still a water world anytime you go up there. Yeah, Chris Mortensen. I was trying to remember what was the problem with Chris Mortensen because he got on some niggas one time. So well, it was some kind of problem with him. So I was trying to remember what was the beef with Chris Mortensen because he rubbed some brothers the wrong way one time. So that's when I saw that this morning. That was the first thing I thought about. But Dr. Sinister, what's happening? And I know I don't have to worry about you taking care of y'all.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
Because I know you control yours. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, definitely. I am on the Galactic Patio. Well, thank you for being on the Galactic Patio with me. I appreciate it. And you know what we do. When we on the Galactic Patio, we only do one thing. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic. Do the cosmic slop as you come on in. I appreciate it. And so today was a day of, it was nice. It set a record up here. The previous record was 70. I think it got 71 or 72 up here. And you know me, since the weather up in this part of the country is always an issue. Right now, it's still 38 degrees. We had a high of 70. Now, looking at the rest of the day, it's still going to be nice at 50, even though it's going to get chilly tomorrow night, looks like. And, through the week, it's going to be mild, Look at this. Rain on Friday. I don't mind rain. But look at this. Moderate. Look at that. Warm. And then don't remember, next Sunday morning, I'll be, when I'll be on, where time goes forward. Yeah, time goes forward. And Wednesday the 6th, I am going to see the Gophers play again. So I might have to pick me up a new Gopher hat. My Gopher hat is kind of lame. But so yeah, Wednesday my daughter's performing at halftime. So we had a high of 70 today. For those that got storms going on, snowstorms. I guess part of the country has fires in Texas, So up here, it was 70. Went out, did a little shopping as normal. I always go shopping. But I really, think about it. After yesterday, wasn't much walking I could do other than walking around the high school. It wasn't a lot of walking. I didn't leave. My wife went out and got Starbucks and some munchies, but they sold hot dogs and shit in there. Then we end up going to maybe Applebee's. And actually, the burger was pretty good before we went back. And my daughter and her mother went down, and they went down there Friday night. My wife doesn't like hotels, so she's like, we can just drive. And I was like, it wasn't bad. I drove down there. She drove back. I tried to sleep on the way back, but I couldn't sleep. So I was just sitting there chilling. But it's nice time. We rode. It's 70 the whole way. That's why it's 70 the whole way. And remember, you can drive across America. This is a fact. You can drive across America in 24 hours, something like 23 and a half hours, if you drive 130 going east to west or west to east. You can do it if you go 130 miles an hour the whole time. Again, you got to put in gas and stuff. But basically, if you drove 130 miles an hour, look this up. It's some dudes that did it. They set a new record, and it was during COVID where there wasn't any cars. They didn't get stopped. So, you know, you don't, but my point is you can get, you know, if you drive, you can get there. You ain't got to really drive crazy to get there. So tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. And yes, Chris Mortensen, I think he been fighting cancer, I think is what it said. Yeah, here he goes. I'm trying to think, maybe this article will tell because he got on some brothers' nerves. He did something to some brothers. Let's see if they'll say it. So he was 72. So he definitely drank from the Beast Cup. So that's why the Beast called him home. So it says, longtime reporter. Now he died of some type of cancer, I think they said. No cause of death, treatment for stage, throat cancer. So he probably smoked cigarettes. On air appearance, he was stepping away to work on his health. One of his first reporters to fill a national insider role for a given sport. Awards. Remember, ESPN already had that thing where they was winning them Grammys, and you know, it was fake Grammys. Somebody else would win in a different thing, and they would give it to one of their. They changed the name. He was on Sunday Night NFL Countdown, Sunday Night Countdown, Monday Night Game Day. Mostly a football guy. They look at very little about him. Engaged in live coverage of league scouting. Call him one of the best. I just want to look. Who attended community college before spending 2 years in the Army. Okay, so he's probably Army intelligence. Yeah, probably Army intelligence. His career in 69, Daily Breeze, journalism. He initially covered the Braves and moved to Falcons and NFL. He became one of the relative few reporters. George Polk for a long form investigative, selected by writers, member, blah, 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 responsible for pioneering the world, love supporting hardworking teammate. Okay. Yeah, very limited, isn't it? Very limited about him. They didn't tell you a lot about him. They didn't even tell you how long he was with ESPN. Did you notice that? Didn't even mention how long he had been with ESPN. Yeah, so very limited. But he had some beef with a brother. Him and a brother didn't get along. Oh, this was the story that was kind of came out of Michigan, if y'all didn't catch this one. Former NFL Pro Bowler Brandon Everett saves 80-year-old man's life. NFL wide receiver Braylon Edwards rescued an 80-year-old man who was being assaulted inside a Michigan YMCA locker room this past Friday. Edwards, a standout receiver at Michigan who enjoyed an 8-year career. That means I think he did get, is it 10 years now in the NFL? I forget if he made pension or not. For assaulting the elderly, he stopped a 25-year-old man from further assaulting the elderly man. It was an 80-year-old dude this dude jumped on. Edwards said he initially heard an argument about music, how loud it was being played. The argument escalated to the point where Edwards heard pushing and shoving. Once I heard a thud, that's when I got up and turned around, he said. Then I see this guy, for what I was thinking, was reading a phone underneath, and the victim grabs the back of the victim's head by the hair. He's about to smash his head on the counter. Edwards said the man who was assaulting the elderly man fought him as well. He has since been arrested, so Edwards whooped his ass. Edward whooped his ass.
An investigation intensifies in Farmington Hills after a man is attacked in the men's locker room at the YMCA. And tonight we're hearing from the Good Samaritan who jumped in to help. That story tops the news here at 10 o'clock. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. It happened at a gym near 12 Mile and Farmington Roads. The suspect now in custody for attacking an 80-year-old man and then fought with someone who tried to stop the assault. Sean Lay live with more on this. He talked with the person who jumped in, and that's someone who's pretty well known around these parts. Sean.
Braylon Edwards, big-time wide receiver, U of M, of course, and in the NFL.
Look at this outfit this cat is wearing. He got the vest on. He got fake hair here because it's glued too far down, so we know the fake hair. But damn, look at this pimping, y'all. He's got and I know that the video is fucked up, but look at his pimping, y'all. And he got his hand on his hips. Okay, tell us about it. Let's go.
Look, the guy who ran out of here caused a commotion inside by attacking that man, caused a commotion outside. Police here had to lock down several schools as a precaution until they caught up with him. But inside, Braylon Edwards, we sat down with him this evening, and he tells us how he actually saved this man's life. Take a look. So you walk in the locker room, what happened?
Basically walking to the locker room after working out, I heard some noise about 4 rows behind me. Just over arguing about music, someone playing some music too loud. So I'm not paying attention, it's none of my business. The noise escalates, then you can start to hear some pushing and shoving. I mean, you know what fighting sounds like. Start to hear some tussling, start to hear some fists. But then once I heard a thud, that's what got me up. That's what got me to turn around.
Former U of M and Big Ten receiving record holder NFL star Braylon Edwards was one of the most dangerous offensive players on the field. Friday morning at the Farmington YMCA, Edwards made a stop that likely saved the life of an 80-year-old man. Edwards entered the Y locker room to the sounds of chaos. A 25-year-old man was beating an 80-year-old man. 80. Edwards stepped in with a life-saving move.
And then I see the guy, I think he's reaching for a phone underneath the victim. He grabs the back of the victim's head by the hair, and he was about to slam it down on the counter. I grabbed him, subdued him.
Braylon, if you hadn't stepped in at that critical moment, this man could be killed. He could have been killed.
I didn't know it was that serious. I mean, I knew he probably had serious concussions and things of that nature, but it wasn't until I talked to Detective Jacobs down in Farmington that he told me that if I didn't step in. But at the end of the day, I was just, that's what you do. People go to work out, they have a good time, they live 80 years, and this isn't how they expect for something to maybe take their life.
Protect our elders.
100%. Like my mom, my grandmother, my father. In that moment, when you come back home, these are the people you think about.
Right on, Braylon Edwards. Right on. Right on, Braylon Edwards. I saw this story this morning. That's definitely right on. Right on. Don't let elders, we have so many disrespectful people, but no one should be able to pick on elders like that. Nothing about music and loud music and just talking should make you want to jump on an old person. And if the old person shot your ass, that would be perfectly normal and acceptable because don't fuck with old people. But I must say what's happening to my main man from Japan, PJ Allen. And I never have to worry about him taking care of
my bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I saw Lorenzo come up in here. What's happening, Lorenzo? Straight from the Mississippi. And I know
you got to have vision.
Welcome, both of you brothers. But yeah, I caught this story this morning, so I wanted to share that one. Damn, look at this story. This shit is just crazy. It's like crazy insane, y'all. It should be like crazy insane. Where do they get this shit from? Like, you wouldn't even think anything like this exists. All right, here we go. Let them tell it. I'm gonna let them tell it. This is just I mean, yeah, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. Can't make it get any bigger. No. Okay. Pregnant Amish woman dead in Pennsylvania being investigated as a homicide. Fuck this crazy music. Body was found in her Spartan Township home on the 28th. Okay, now you're going to talk?
We are aggressively investigating all available leads. Any information that's out there, we want people to come forward and help us resolve this issue.
Her husband says he came home around noon to find her dead body. While investigators have not revealed how she died, the family says she was asphyxiated. Okay, so they didn't really tell us much. So a Pennsylvania man has been arrested and charged with a slaying. Oh, okay. Took myself off. The slaying of a pregnant Amish woman whose body was found in her home. Sean Cranston of Corey was taken into custody Friday night, less than a week after 23-year-old Rebecca Byler was found as she appeared to be cutting wounds to her neck, and head, Mr. Cranston is accused of breaking into her home and killing by shooting her in the head or slashing. What? They're telling you two different things here. Killing Byler by shooting her in her head or slashing her throat. So, what? Okay. Found the body inside the home. They had 2 children. They weren't harmed. The killing shocked the community. Is probably stalking her. He was arrested. He was charged with criminal homicide. Wow. What state is this? Following woman claiming to be her foster daughter. Following arrest, a woman claiming to be his foster daughter. Cranston is the only father she's ever known, believes the murderer is mistaken. No. Never pictured my dad. Yeah, as far as I know, he just wanted his grandson back. What? Lived in Byler's home a few years ago, adopted grandson. Supposedly she started yelling at him coming in, and that's where it all took place. So he went to see the grandson and he killed her. The Amish generally follow basic Christian beliefs, practices, but are not homogeneous, according to the young sinner. They are known for simple clothing, for relying on horses and buggies, and local congregations maintain a variety of rules and restrictions, dress code, technology, participate in American society. The overall Amish population is 400,000 people in hundreds of settlements across 32 states, Canada, and Bolivia. Pennsylvania has one of the greatest concentrations. All right. Is the world's most, the independent. Okay. So, yeah, it's just, man. It's just, you never know. You never know. You just never know, y'all. Just the crazy, insane abundance back at you. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But yes, definitely abundance to all. But I had such it was good getting away, good seeing, a lot of ugly people. Now, I don't know who this is. Maybe y'all know who this is. It says Blackberry Smoke Drummer. Do y'all know this? He's only 57 years old. Brett Turner, a esteemed drummer and co-founder of the Southern rock group Blackberry Smoke, passed away 57. Battle with globostomia, form of brain cancer. Wow. His departure was solely announced through a heartfelt message. The brand saw notable collaborators, performances, known for his lively, distinctive long beard, blah, blah, blah. His early experience saw music delve in the realms of hard rock and heavy metal, returning to the southern sounds of, let me see, what was their hits? Good One Coming On, The Whippoorwill, and Holding on the Roses. Their music below, okay, yeah. I don't know him, but hey, he drank from the beast's glass, so the beast took him. Oh, and this is the most ignorant shit I ever heard. Okay, this is ignorant. Okay, and let me break this down. How possibly can she be the NCAA all time? She is one thing only. Oh, and she still ain't broke the one chick's record. There's another record out there that was pre-NCAA. She hasn't broke that record. Okay, this chick played 4 years. 4 years, and she had the 3-point shot her whole time. And she played against women. So how could she break Pistol Pete's record? Please make sense of that. She has the women's record. Pete played against men. Pete did not have a 3-point shot. Pete didn't get to play his freshman year. So she broke the women's record. Oh, look at this. Yeah. And so why are they demasculating men? When there's no way that she's what they're trying to say. Again, there's another woman out there that scored more points than her. This is the female point scorer. That's it. But for some reason, they want you to think that, I'm not going to say disrespect, but that's what it kind of, they're trying to pump up some bullshit. I'll just say it, she's the women's leader. That's all we see is the women's leader and nothing more. Damn, they letting 50 Cent. Ain't 50 Cent old? Ain't he at least 50? Ain't he at least in his 50s? And he doing concerts. And this man's supposed to be so rich. Why are you doing concerts? Oh, okay. Look at this. I saw him earlier wearing a cowboy hat. Why you got the cowboy hats on? What's this about?
With me for about a minute, I'm going to tell you who he brought on stage.
Who'd he bring on stage?
Oh, that's so good. Black Heritage Day. Where are you guys coming from?
Miami.
Okay, this is Black Heritage Day, and the niggas is wearing cowboy shit.
So it's 50. Represent.
Okay, make that make sense. Black Heritage Day, and they all wearing cowboy shit. Maybe I need to know something. So they're in Houston. Okay.
There are certain songs you just
Only
can't wait.
black cowboy I know is Bass Reeves. None of them, rest of them count. Oh no, Perk Pickens.
To hear. I hope he plays I don't know what you heard about me.
I was like 7 years old listening to freaking Hate It or Love It.
I watched him since I was a kid, watching all the movies, Power, listen to all the music. My mama used to play it every Sunday, cleaning the kitchen. Man, that's my dog right there. I'm gonna listen to him to the day I die.
I saw 53 months ago with Busta Rhymes.
We just saw it on Instagram. It was like, we gonna come over here and experience it. We gonna bring 305 to Houston.
What is
I still don't get the cowboy dress. Please explain that to me. Why is niggas not wearing fedoras, and Kangos? Why is niggas wearing cowboy hats? I'm lost.
from the 305?
Because it's Texas. Is that what I'm supposed to understand? The Texas niggas got it wrong. You're supposed to be wearing Kangos and fedoras and Godfather hats. What the fuck is these niggas wearing? Okay, what is up with you niggas down there? What is up with you niggas? I don't get this shit.
He needs his money back.
Why are you wearing these ugly ass extensions?
Wearing the officially team.
All right, I've had it. Why are they wearing them ugly ass hats? I don't get that. That is not pimpy. I guess from where I'm from, we would never wear a fucking cowboy hat. What do they sell? What do they say? What is it? Never buy Texas from a cowboy. Ain't that what George Clinton said? Never buy Texas from a cowboy. Never buy Texas from a cowboy. You just seen a bunch of niggas buying Texas. Look at these silly niggas, man. Get the fuck out of here. Look at these silly niggas, man. This is just beyond silly nigga shit.
50 Cent brand, so you're obviously a big fan.
Okay, at least he got a baseball hat on and shit.
I'm a big fan. I bought all 3 bottles and got them autographed.
Whose idea was it? Like, we gotta go see 50. Mine, of course.
Just watching him grow from being in G.
Damn.
When I was a little kid, to now, man, he's expanding his network, broadening his.
Okay, I guess if you from Texas, that's what you know, but god damn, like, these are some of the most uncoolest motherfuckers I've ever seen. Like, nothing about this is cool, whatever you call dressing. This is like the worst dressing I've ever seen. I'm hating. This is the worst group dressing I've ever seen. I'm never going to Texas if I gotta be around niggas that dress as uncool as this. This is okay, he's okay.
Alcohol is the official drink for all of them.
Okay, he's okay. But this cowboy shit, never buy Texas from a cowboy. Water walking. Man, this is some silly looking shit. Okay, 50 Cent, I don't care about your story anymore, buddy. I saw earlier a picture of that shit, wearing that shit. Get the fuck out of here. That shit ain't pimpy. Oh, who is this? My sons look pathetic. Yes, they did. They really did look pathetic. I hate to say that, but welcome, CWE. Welcome. And I know be up this late, you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
I don't know who this cat is, but let's find out. The catcher who helped the Pirates win the 79 World Series. So this is okay after Matty Seguin. Matty Seguin, okay. I thought he was okay. He wasn't there in 79. A catcher who coached and helped the Pittsburgh Pirate win the 79. He was 72. Okay. He was a Muncie, Indiana native, was selected by 23rd round. Damn. He came right out of high school though. He batted .350 and 500. So he played 500 major league games. He had a few homers and were the main catchers for the Pirates, who won it all in 79. So he won a ring. Were the main catchers with 7. Ott hit .273 with 7 homers and a career best 51 RBIs and 100 regular season games that year. So he had, he didn't hit many against Baltimore, going 4 for 12 and driving in 3 runs. Penn State. Oh, he's got a Sprite. Remember though, I bet you guys don't even know these cans. With these cans, these cans could, when you pop that motherfucker off, it could cut the shit out of you. Well, really, you're supposed to only pop it halfway to use it as a straw. 1981. So, Pirates and Reds. So he coached. He coached somewhere. 23rd round. Yeah. NFL used to have about 20 rounds, NFL and AFL. And, that gave a lot of people a chance. That's what people miss. A lot of motherfuckers got a chance. What was that? A lot of people got a chance. And so that's I think what people missed. Oh, I missed the fight last night? Roy Floyd stops Otterbeck? Oh, shit. Well, I watched Saturday Night Live in the car. I don't miss Saturday Night Live. I wish I'd have known the fight was on. I watched that motherfucker in the car as I was rolling. Rolling, roll high. Man, nigga was rolling. Yeah, don't look like it's a whole hell of a lot happening in the world. But I love this weather. That's how you feel about yeah, see, that's what I was just saying. It's another record she doesn't hold. It's the other record before women's games. It's AI something that the woman scored 4,000 points. But yeah, I was just talking about that before you came on. I mean, there's no way she really has, you can't compare her to the men's record. You can't compare her to Pete Maravich, who didn't play his freshman year, who didn't have a 3-point shot. So how can you compare it? And again, she is the women's record holder. That's it. That's it. Now, okay, and really you can't say she's the all-time woman because there's another woman that she's 40 points away from. That woman is the all-time 40 points away from. But again, she's just the women's. I mean, it sounds good. It helps feminism. Saying that this girl is better than even Curry. She's better than everybody. And you see Paige for Connecticut. Paige is playing another year of college because she's going to make more money in college. Yeah, you can't. And that's what they're trying to do is compare it to the men. It's impossible. You can't compare it to the men. Oh, man. Let me tell y'all, I've been staying up late every night. My TV, that Neo, OLED, QLED, whatever the fuck Samsung is, that shit is like IMAX. IMAX shit ain't no better than my TV. That motherfucker, if you don't think paying more for a TV is different, you are mistaken. Man, I'm sitting there watching Napoleon. Now, I went to the movie theater to watch Napoleon. I did a review on it. I still didn't get a chance to go see Dune. Hopefully this week, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I'm watching Napoleon. When Napoleon crowns himself, man, the colors and the costumes, that shit was like in the IMAX theater. That shit was so clear. I was like, damn. And then, I got the surround sound to it too. And like I'm watching, what is it called? I'm old man. War movie, Saving Private Ryan, and the beginning of Saving Private Ryan is the best when they're storming Normandy and it's boom, 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 boom. But I'm seeing the killing and them getting fucked up in such clarity. But Napoleon is the bomb. When he beats the Russians and he beats the Austrians and he bombing them and shit with the cannons, man, that shit looks so cool. But the scene where he crowns himself, that shit was the bomb. I mean, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at this, the colors flashing. I mean, the detail you see. So, 4K ain't still the way. I thought I saw Clippers eventually won a championship later. You think so? You say, I got the Clippers, Celtics. Maybe. Still kind of I want to see it all play out, see who the college play out too before we really get into it. Oh, I thought I saw Dune on an app because it's Dune 2. Yeah, it's Dune 2. Dune 2. Maybe if you saw Dune 2, because Dune 1 is on Netflix. Dune 2 is out. Man, that shit hit, that shit hit so hard. Like I watched Oppenheimer again. I'm watching all these movies that I watched already. Oh, I've watched Equalizer 3 at least 10 times. I mean, that shit, and fucking him up in clarity, that shit, man, I could watch Equalizer every day. Fuck John Wick. This nigga is 10 years, 20 years older than John Wick and would fuck John Wick up. This nigga does not get hit. John Wick not only gets hit, he gets thrown downstairs. He gets fucking thrown off a building. He done got thrown off a couple buildings. Roberto don't get hit. He don't get hit. The little boy shot him in the ass, which again, that's a shaming ritual if you understand it. You know, again, he didn't wear the dress. He got beat in the back as a slave. Again, that's, the pain in the back. But the little boy shot him in the ass. See this? So I guess that's a good shaming ritual. You just getting shot in the ass. But it's nice watching a good TV. It's nice. I'm watching the games, and the games is nice. Patrick Ewing explains why he would pick Michael Jordan over LeBron. Who cares? It's like you got to compare motherfuckers, or are they showing money? Jay-Z's wearing a special shoes at the Knicks games. Jay-Z's wearing a special watch at the Knicks game. I mean, this shit is make no sense. It's it makes no sense. The nigga got on a pair of Air Force Ones, okay? Well, they're very exclusive. Okay, that's between him and what he picked out in his stylist. You ain't got to inform us about that. But for some reason, when it comes to niggas, they got to tell you everything about the niggas. So, it's just bullshit, y'all. It's really just bullshit. So, I think it's funny. A new nightclub continues a legacy for Washington, D.C.'s black gay community. They get their own nightclub, y'all. It is amazing. It's shocking and amazing. I was watching Equalizer last night this morning. Why did I laugh at the little boy shooting him? Exactly. My wife thought those same Jordans. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, you're. How do I want to say this? It's like it's not that big a deal. It's really not. It's not that big a deal. Well, they're this rare. Okay. You can get a pair. Like one thing you gotta love about Nike is Nike can give you some shit. It looks near like that. And who is this? I like the way he wears this hat though. Who is this? Broadway expands doing honor for Hilton battle after online. In the theater, particularly color fans, pioneer in Hilton battle of Broadway announced day. Okay, he played in The Wiz, but who the fuck? I'm not missing this. I think I like the way. Now, look, remember I was talking about all them goofies you was seeing in Texas? Look at this shit. Look at this. This is how we wear our shit. We go out, we wear it like this. We don't wear no fucking cowboy hats. Get the fuck out of here. You see how that pimp was wearing his shit? He's like, man, cowboy hat. Get the fuck. What do I look like being in Minnesota with a cowboy hat on? I ain't even seen a horse since. Well, I saw cops sitting on horses. That's the only horses I've seen since I've been here. No cowboys up here. Fucking Eskimos, if anything. Let me see. The Battle, who made his Broadway as a teenager when he originated the Scarecrow in the 75 classic, The Wiz. Died January 30th at the age of 67. Okay, why are you talking about it now, though? So I guess they're supposed to get this nigga some kind of honor. I don't know. I guess they're giving him some honor. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, and I don't care. I'm just tripping off of it. Y'all know me. I just be enjoying my life. And is this damn, didn't he do the... No, I think it's the other brother. It's a movie y'all got to see. It's called Brother from Another Planet. If y'all can find that movie, let me see if I can find it for you. Oops. This is a good movie. Worth looking up. Yeah, here it is. This is a good movie worth looking up. Brother from Another Planet. Did y'all ever see this movie, Brother from Another Planet? Might give us a little bit of a preview. This nigga is an alien. He's an alien, and the alien come to America. You know, and he's seeing the Jesus get killed, and he's seeing, you know, the racism. But this is a trip movie. It's funny, like he sees a dude shoot heroin, so then he shoots heroin. But check this movie out, Brother from Another Planet. And it's another movie with this in this genre that would be called The Gods Are Crazy. Let's find that one. Let me see if I can find this one. Here we go. Yeah. This is another movie that's kind of the same, but a little different, but it's still The Gods Must Be Crazy. This is a good movie, too. The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Gods only send good and useful. Of course, the gods only send good and useful things. A modest school teacher, a dedicated scientist, a tree bearing strange fruit, bizarre machinery.
I'm sorry.
He's got to take the money. It's the law.
He can't use that stuff.
Well, I have to.
Bushmen don't know about money.
I'm sorry about that. But yeah, The Gods Must Be Crazy. Look that movie up too. Those are two funny movies. Too funny. The Gods Must Be Crazy. And both of these movies are roughly from the late 70s, early 80s. Because The Gods Must Be Crazy is they, you know, these Bushmen get a bottle. And they kind of show, you know, because, you know, they have no use, but they showed you how they use the bottle, you know, making patterns and stuff like that. So everything in their life up to that point was things that's useful. And then, you know, they just show when they meet Europeans, you know, once they meet them, how things change. And so those are two oldie movies that are worth seeing. Let's see. Rich niggas, poor niggas. This is our year. Well, let's check this one out. Oh my goodness. Like, what is this? She was 102. What is she known for? Author of Tens the Fashion Show. Like, damn, look at them big ass ears. Look like she had hair plugs, but okay. She looks like a buzzard. Damn. Why would you want to be 102? I don't even want to read about her now. She's scaring me. So she was born, what is this? She was born in the 20. Oh, okay. She was born around, my grandfather was born in 22. So she must have been born in 22. No cause of death. 102. That's why she died. She was 100. But doesn't it seem like almost you're trapped or not humanish? Let's see. Oh, she was born in 21. I think my grandfather's born in 22. It's 24 though. Chunky beads, bangles. Ooh, that's real. Ooh, that's okay. Okay, she was about a little bit. This is all turquoise. So she knew something. Turquoise bracelets. So she kind of knows she wanted some of this protection. This is sterling. And these is turquoise bingles. So, okay, I feel you. She must have a little bit of, because this is all protection. That's big protection. Okay. She died March. Okay, she just died. All right. Yeah, she knew something wearing that kind of thing. Style. She would blah blah blah. She never, I think. All right. Okay, this is ugly shit she used to wear. That's commercial. Okay. Why the music? Her home. She was 102. Okay, she don't really look bad. Look, oh shit. She was dripped. Can I catch that? Look at all that. Look at all that turquoise. So yeah, she knew. Okay. She knew. That's some serious protection. Turquoise is very protective. Okay, let's see. We don't need the music. And again, the turquoise color. So she knew something. Okay, she fashion design, but she knew about protection too. So, H&M. Okay. All right. And was to bring some fun to life. But yeah, she knew too. And she likes turquoise. So she kind of knew. All right. Thank you, old chick. Thank you, old chick. Okay. So I went to K Jewelers today. They gave me a sweet little bag and shit. You know, I'm always buying jewelry and shit. But I just bought some motherfucking jewelry cleaner. Needed some bad. So, just a receipt. And you know me, I did a little shopping. So how should I show it? I'll show this first. So I guess I'll show what I bought. You know, I love just Jordans. But these was called the Jordan Aura Max Auras. And these are 21, 22 style. Again, the Jordan box. And this colorway. This is suede. And again, this is the 10. I think, isn't that the 10? PJ, isn't that the 10 style? And that's why I like this style. The upper combined with the max. Medium comfort. I think I'm taking them back. There's another shoe I almost bought. And there was some LeBrons I could have bought. And you know, I already have and I've had these for a couple years already. So I think that's why I say I think in here they tell the year. Let's see. What year do they call these? Yeah, these are 22s. That's what I thought. And I like the patent leather. You know, I do. I like the patent leather. So every now and then I bounce these. Not often, but every now and then. So, but I think I'm taking them back. That's the first thing I'm doing is I'm going back to the outlet and taking that. And I'm going to take that one more thing back and buy the other pair of shoes I saw. Well, they had some LeBrons in there. And I think I'm going to take them back and get the LeBrons or that other pair. So that was just my local getting today. And I just really went out there to get some walking in. That's why. But, you know, I bought something. But, yeah, so. Yeah, it looks like the 10s. Yeah, they look like the 10s. Yeah, exactly. And what they did is they took, and that's what you got to love about them taking chances with their products. Because they give you this old styling, but they put it with something that wasn't there. They put the Max on it. And you still, what you used to get is you would get the Air, you did the zoom units, you know, and I don't know how much zoom is in this. Yeah, it feels like maybe. Lot of this instep right here is pretty good. So, I mean, but this other pair was only $60. I'm sorry that didn't say that. Yeah. Yeah, this pair was only $60. $60. So, you know. But I think I'm going to take them back. But these were only $60. So if you go to your outlet, if this interests you, but yeah, I think I'm taking them back. I'm going to take them back, and I think I saw a couple of another pair of shoes I like better. So that was my shopping adventure today, y'all. And I still ain't even wore. Where's the other Jordans? Oh, they're out of the shot. I still ain't even wore them yet. So I'm saving them for when I go see, what's his name? Ryan Davis. Yeah. I'm going to bust him out. You know, when I go up in that motherfucker, I'm going to be cleaning the bitch in the Mall of America. Ryan Davis. Yeah, I'm going to go see Ryan Davis. Yeah. So, you know, life has been fun, y'all. Life has been really fun. Washed my car, and I only washed it because I really want to just clean my tires off and put the tire sealant on it. But washed it off. Juan Soto is dominating. Okay, I haven't really checked out. Haven't really checked out a lot of baseball. Yeah, Soto's baseball. I haven't really checked that out. And this is another example of, you know, how they take the older designs and mesh them, you know, with the different technologies. And that's what you have to admire about Nike, you know. And they put all affordable areas, you know. It was brilliant to call all of them Jordan instead of Team Jordan. Just call the motherfuckers Jordan. Very brilliant. Very brilliant. And then come off with a multiple different colors. I say that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. And, you know, I'm going to say this, like one thing like I'm doing on Facebook and I want people to understand is it's like grouping of clothes and how to put clothes together. You know, that's one thing. Like it is narcissistic. If you do selfies every day, that's narcissistic. It's no way that you can get around that. But what I try to do, I really try to get people to understand how you can group clothes together that ain't really that expensive and look good. And you should want to look good as a man. You should want to look good as a man, you know. And as my guy Cowboy says,
And every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Every time I've seen, I remember going to the Mall of America growing up, and Hulk Hogan had a restaurant there, and there was two different arcades. It was right when Tekken came out. You went to Planet Rock, Planet. What was it? Planet Hollywood. Planet Hollywood. It was called, and he was a part owner in it. Him, Rocky. It was a bunch of them that had put money in it to get Yeah, so it wasn't just him, but yeah. Probably when you went to it, it was Camp Snoopy too. Cause shit, I've been going to the Mall of America since it opened. My son was born, I think it opened in 88. I think 87, 88. Timberwolves and the Mall of America is about the same age. Oh, I caught hell for wearing that Pat Mahone jersey. I caught hell for wearing it. And I'm telling you, I still look at that Russell Wilson, because that Russell Wilson jersey is 65. I think I could get that Russell Wilson jersey for about $50. And I love jerseys, and it's no bad jersey. I don't know if I want to wear the shoe with the horse on it, but again, you know, I don't mind. Why I can't get out of this? Why? I want to get out of that. Oh, okay. It put me into that. Oh, shoot. Oh. Try to hang with y'all tonight. I bought a Tekken 8. Oh, I just bought Tekken 8. Oh, okay. I follow too much baseball. Let me see. I caught hell. Okay. I ain't follow too much baseball because it's spring training, but I saw Dodgers play. Them boys go, oh, yeah. Dude hit a home run already. There was a basketball court, just play on and try on shoes. People were playing 2-on-2, a basketball court. I wonder, that's you was talking about the Great American Sports Bar. Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, in the Great American Sports Bar, they had a basketball court in there. And there were certain times of day that everybody could go in there. At night, it was age restricted, but during the day, it wasn't, because it was like a restaurant. It was restaurant, it was a big restaurant itself. But yeah, it had the basketball court at it. The Great American Sports Bar. It had a boxing ring. It had the basketball court in it. Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah, it did. I forgot about that part. Oh. But yeah, it was super windy all day, but beautiful. 70 and windy is not bad. They had a track around the whole store. Oh, okay. That part, I don't remember the track around the store. Okay. But it's been so many, in there. Like that fourth floor, they say cigarette smoking is what killed the fourth floor of the Mall of America. Because now it's just 3 solid floors. But it used to be the fourth floor where all the clubs was. And it's still Hooters up there and the comedy club. But it used to be packed up there. Restaurants, bars. I mean, the Great American Sports Bar was like a restaurant and 3 clubs inside this giant ass bar. That was the spot. Sunday nights, we was all up in that bitch. The only bad thing about partying here is everything closed at 2. Shit, I used to hold cabarets in Detroit. Motherfuckers in Detroit don't go out until like 1, 2 in the morning. So, we get the cabaret, we get in there, open that bitch up, 10, 11, had the people that's cooking, people with contract to come cook. And this wasn't a rave. This was just, a cabaret, And the motherfuckers come in and cook. The motherfuckers that gambled would come in there and set up the tables where they gambled. And, sure enough, we would open up about 10. And motherfuckers, it wouldn't come until, 2 o'clock. Motherfuckers is coming. And by 4 o'clock in the morning, motherfuckers is gambling, motherfuckers eating, motherfuckers is dancing. And, that's how Detroit used to party. And literally, we wouldn't get out that bitch until to close the building, clean up. We wasn't getting out that bitch until like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then had to drive back to Battle Creek. So, yeah, that's why it's funny. Up here, 2 o'clock. And that's the downer up here. You can't party very late. That's why they had one of the NBA All-Star games. They had some here. They was like, well, we'll keep the clubs open a little later for this event. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't the Super Bowl. It was something else, and they kept the clubs open later. So that's the only down about up here, that everything closes down. Even Chicago. You go out in Chicago, most people ain't going out until later. They don't stay open late as Detroit clubs. Thanks. I'm gonna get no, I didn't see Bob Marley movie yet, CWE. I ain't really interested in Marley like that. People could try on shoes and run laps in stores, just a single lane track. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that one. I didn't see it yet though. I'm gonna get it. Mall of America's spectacular Snoopy Land. Yeah, it used to be. It's Nickelodeon now. Oh, okay. I enjoyed online play. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see Bob Marley yet. I doubt I'll wait till that come out online. I ain't really interested in seeing it. I wasn't a Bob Marley fan. My really, I didn't know Bob Marley till he died. I'll say that. I did not know him until he died. And when they held his funeral, because I remember right before he died, they were saying that they had to give him a wig, locks, give him a wig of locks because his hair fell out. Or something like that. But that's when I remember when he died. I didn't know his music. I knew I Shot the Sheriff from Eric Clapton. I didn't know it from Bob Marley. Later I heard it, but One Love. I don't know. That vibe don't really. I don't know. I like some of the songs he wrote. Like I said, I like I Shot the Sheriff and Run Joe. I like Run Joe. He wrote Run Joe. But I like Chuck Brown singing it more than I like Bob Marley singing it. There's a policeman on the premises, y'all. What is he doing in here? Run, Joe, run, Joe. And I know Chuck Brown added that part. But I think, that's part of Bob Marley writing. So I like that. But, not really into him like that. I'll catch it once it comes out on stream. But, yeah, I'm not going to movie to see it. I'm going to see Dune, hopefully. Might go see the motherfucker tomorrow. Depending on how late the wife got to work. Because I'll be done with my shit pretty. Oh, no. I don't know. My daughter's not feeling well. Her mother was sick. So my daughter, they both kind of got colds. So I don't know. Oh, you like Damian Marley? Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. You talk about Tekken. So, yeah, I mean, it's just if you like that. And it's one thing Dewan B, one thing he brings up is, reggae music was based on Fats Domino's, if you didn't know that. Reggae music is based on the piano playing of Fats Domino, the reggae beat. The reggae beat is based on, I found, Fats Domino. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill Guy. But that's the riffs, and that's the bass line of reggae music is Fats Domino. So look it up. But Dewan B, you can look, he breaks it down even better. He has a chart of where he charts where, certain music history comes from. And some of it I agree, some of it I don't. Yeah, because sounds and music, I don't know. It can come from a lot of variety of places. Eddie Gordon was Bob Marley's son. Is Bob Marley's son? Okay, I don't know who he is. Bad Boys 4 is coming out. Yeah, I saw that they had him getting married and shit. I saw they had him getting married. Will's gonna get married in Bad Boy 4, I think. So I saw that, and what did you expect him to do? It seems like there's no new ideas. Like there's really no new ideas that people could know or people can see. And it's like when people started understanding the line of history and history's portrayal as being false, what confused the people is they gave you several avenues of false ways to go. And people didn't see through that. It was just like one thing and another. It's like it's zig and zag in your thoughts instead of your thoughts continuing on. Because what happens is, these things come out and then people have to run after them. It's really like it's like if you look at the way people look at information and go after things, it's almost like a dog. You throw a ball or a bone and the dog go chase it. That's the same thing as they say in going down the rabbit holes. It's like, some people get incentivized for so much and then people dive in and put their energy into it. And I've told you, my own thing is, I got heavily into Vietnam. I hate I lost all my Vietnam research. And the same with the Kennedy assassination. I had over 20 some books. Like somebody stole a couple of my Kennedy videos. Because I had the dude named, I think his name was Bowers. He was the one behind the people at the Grassy Knoll. If anybody was up there, he couldn't really say it was a shot. Because again, all this stuff happened in front of him pretty quickly. But he talked about fake agents, spotters. Now, like what he talked about, it was hard to fake. But, and I'm saying just the actions of the people. Now, if you get into the rest of the Kennedy assassination, you can see it's a soap opera. It's a soap opera from start to finish. And that's why I still argue, Jimmy Carter's still alive. His mama didn't live to be that long. His brother Billy didn't live to be that long. So I've always said that if you look at them, I think, they switched. JFK and Jimmy Carter switched. So that's why Jimmy Carter only got one term. And a lot of government sabotage. You know, he was sabotaged with the Iranian, hostages. And remember, they had killed, what's his name? Steve Kerr's daddy. So someone should have told you to go there and send a bunch of troops, even though when they killed Steve Kerr's daddy in Iran, American University in Iran, which led to the taking of the hostages. And inflation, inflation fuck with him. But, I'm going to say this about Jimmy Carter, JFK. The best time of racial harmony in America was Jimmy Carter's presidency. And what is that? Basically 76 to 80. Yeah. Now, leading, like people don't understand what really came out of the civil rights. A lot of respect came out of civil rights, especially for young people. Now, I know, how do I say? Yeah. I guess I can continue with that thought. And so if you look at it as what changed, and I mean, in some of these cities, especially I'm speaking from a northern perspective, it was a lot of change. And it was like nigga was a word to get your ass whooped. And it was like when I was probably in third grade, the riots. Because when they fully integrated schools, even in Michigan, and I mean Lansing, they set the buses on fire. Because integration, I was fully the first generation of integration. As I said before, when I was in fourth grade, to integrate was voluntary. So if you lived on what we considered more of a European side of town, you could voluntarily go to school with the niggas. And for me, it was like my mother brought it up. I'm like, you telling me I can go to school with my cousins? I want to go to school with my cousins. And so I had a cousin a year older than me. And so they bust me over there to go to school with my cousin. But leading up to that, when I was young and talking to dudes in junior high, think about this. Junior highs are rioting every day. I mean, every day is full out riots. The high schools is rioting every day. I mean, you're talking about young children that's going there, and at some point during the day, these motherfuckers go at it. Europeans and melanated people, because you got a mixture of about half and half. And I used to hear these stories. These people going to school every day and they are fighting brothers against Europeans. And so this must have been 71. And these junior high stories, I'm hearing junior highs. Then I knew high school people, and they saying the same thing. They are running out in the street fighting each other. They would fight in the school, and the fight would go out into the street. And I heard multiple cities. These dudes is fighting each other in the streets as they leave the high school and start fighting in the streets. No killings, just fist fighting. But this is how, what happened when integration at first. And there's nothing the schools really could do about it. It's like they say, a flashpoint about to come, and these motherfuckers is going to go at it. And it's the rest of the day's canceled. I mean, this is how hard the fights was. Once you got the fight under control, you had to send everybody home. Or they going to fight some more. So I'm saying, coming from that perspective, by the time I get in junior high, that shit ain't there no more. Europeans, I ain't gonna say they knew their place, but they wasn't saying that nigga shit. Wasn't that disrespect. This is in junior high. 74, 75, 76. I had to do 9th grade and still in junior high. All right? Now, we could go to parties. If we went to European parties and Europeans said some shit, yeah. They were still cocky at parties with alcohol and stuff. And it's mostly them in there. My boy Sean Potts used to get me in so much trouble. We was always fighting, and I was like, this nigga's good. Like, he was the kind of dude who would go after somebody else's girl. Like, that was just his MO. He was not happy with just going up and getting a girl that's single. He always had to go try to get the girl that went with somebody. So we would end up fighting all the time because that was just his Mac, and I don't understand it. And so as I said, my growing up in that period and going from like 19 when I was 76, 77, they brought Jimmy Carter in. I mean, my high school experience was it was nothing of that racist shit. Like even, playing against people, going to all these towns that once was a little more segregated. None of that racist shit. Not really. Not really. Going to clubs and stuff, the disco free love era. You ain't see any fights anymore. Wasn't nobody, hey, nigga, no. It's like, in the North, is shit, the women was always there. So that was never a thing of European women. They always been around niggas. Y'all know that. So they was at the clubs, motherfuckers was pulling them. High schools, junior highs, same thing, relationships. And so those years, and it wasn't really till Reagan came in that it changed. I mean, you really saw that it was a grass, as they say, a grassroots, which they took from Malcolm, effort to really make everybody racist again. I mean, and I'm gonna say this, race, because see, all that Jim Crow and all that shit was kind of blatantly by law, and everything blatantly pushed out of society. Them attitudes was pushed out of society. Now, yes, the Klans got killed in Greensboro, 79. That would have still been under Jimmy Carter. Yeah, that did happen down there. Might have been a lynching in 80 in Mississippi, but it was like that. That was the case that took down the Klan. That bankrupted that part of the Klan. And so what I guess what I'm trying to say is America was able to pretty much do it better and do it right. It was 4 years of that. And it was a concentrated effort to turn that all around. Because Reagan would, I've said this before, Reagan, they show him campaigning and stuff, but what Reagan really came and said, they niggas again. I mean, that Jim Crow shit came back under Reagan. It's okay to be racist. It's okay to be biased. And then by the time Clinton comes in, affirmative action, it can go to European women. So do you see how, Clinton was no better than Reagan? And, Obama, shit, he was one of the coldest motherfuckers ever to sit in that chair. A complete puppet where they made him up, made him a background narrative, which is very spicy, but yet a Republican clothed as a Democrat. Because he was taught by the Bushes, and he carried Bush's shit out to the umpteenth. And I've said this many nights. I've sat here in this chair. If you don't understand the way Obama snatched niggas off the streets in the world, they went into mass incarcerating motherfuckers, mostly Muslims. Mostly Muslims. Let's keep that in Guantanamo Bay was mostly Muslims. But they mass incarcerated niggas around the world. They took Jim Crow around the world under terrorism. So at least niggas got a break during them years. They was arresting us for crack. So that's the terrorism on drugs, but it was crack. But they put that Jim Crow shit around the world. If we deem you a terrorist, we can first tap your phones anywhere you live. We can have black sites and we can torture you. And if, we think that what you said was enough, we can take you somewhere, take you out the country. And that was under Mr. Obama that so many Europeans loved. And, we see what his agenda was. Which had to be under his personal agenda, probably, Have you seen Shannon Sharp's news about You know, remaking everything. Yeah. I mean, we see that he's an attention whore. He's not a very attractive man. I've often called him the black alligator. That's what his features always remind me of alligator. Like when you saw Hanna-Barbera do an alligator, they got the alligator with the little hat. He always remind me of that, but a darker version of that. So not a very handsome man. Wow, he must have taken classes at Northwestern, it sounds like. He got the same Michael Jordan treatment. But his brother was fairly articulate. So whatever path his brother took to get rid of that accent. And actually, I liked his brother online. Something fell out where his brother was, they took him off of ESPN. But I actually liked him. But he's an attention whore, and he'll do whatever, he will do whatever it takes to keep relevant. That's become obvious. And so, what do I often say? He's drinking from the beast cup. So whatever comes after that for him, he's, I think what's telling is, him not just getting his own, he took the slave master mentality even when it came to this podcasting. I mean, I don't know anybody's shit. It's like when money comes into me, it comes into me. And so what was the problem of him doing that? I think that's a relevant point. It's like, why, when he came to the platform, why did he need a management? That made no sense. You're your own management on this thing. I mean, really, anybody, if you want to put the real money into it, it's not very expensive. And so I'm sure he had the money to, to get his own server and then put your shit out. So I don't know why he didn't take that route. Why did he need a master? Why did he need to sign on to something else? Because really his name was bigger than Colin's name. And that's just odd that he left Fox and then he reconnected with a dude who was still affiliated with Fox. Oh, he knew, they were both at Fox, so he knew the cat already, but it just makes you wonder. So he's a puppet. He works for the beast. Yeah. I don't know, Mike Epps said he looked like Madeir. Well, he's going to play any part that he can. Oh, I gotta pee. I heard him called Carhartt Boss. Yeah. But I'm gonna play a little my man, because I do. Yeah, it says I gotta stand up. No, I really just gotta pee. I gotta pee because I didn't drink a lot of beer. So let me bring my man came. He put some new shit out. So I will find his new stuff and let him chop. Where is he at? Let my man chop. Oh, here he goes. He put out some new stuff. I just listened to a little bit of it. Yep. This is his most recent. So I'm going to let my man chop while I go pee and stand up for a minute. This is my man Ancestral Production. Please like his stuff. After you hear it, go back and like it. Subscribe to him.
The videos and the articles about Mr. Bushnell, who took his own life by self-immolation in protest of the genocide in Gaza. Mr. Bushnell said, I will not. And you see the title. Rest in peace, Aaron Bushnell. I'm sure many of you have seen the videos and the articles about Mr. Bushnell, who took his own life by self-immolation in protest of the genocide in Gaza. Mr. Bushnell said, I will no longer be complicit in genocide. But self-immolation is law-known and demonstrated practice of protest. The media has tried to portray him as if he were mentally ill. It's an extreme form of protest, and we have the media redirection right here. The Washington Post did not mention Israel. None of these channels did. Active duty airman sets himself on fire outside DC's Israeli embassy. No mention of the fact that it's about the genocide of the Palestinians. New York Times, a man sets himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in Washington. The police said, that's the title, no mention of the genocide. Reuters, U.S. airman sets himself on fire outside Israeli embassy in Washington. Again, no mention. This is by design, and we know who controls our media. It's not anti-Semitic to say that there is a considerable Jewish lobby influence and Jewish influence on what we see in our national media. Haaretz. This is, however, is another Jewish source that's much more honest. U.S. soldier fatally sets himself on fire outside Israeli embassy in protest of American support of Gaza war. There's some honesty, finally. And this image is from Mr. Bushnell after he had set himself on fire as he died. He died later, but he screamed repeatedly, "Free Palestine," as he went up in flames. I did not watch it because I, frankly, did not have the stomach for it. I put the picture up here because of every article that I've seen and report that I've seen. The family wanted people to see the video because he gave his life for what he believed in. It's extreme. It's something I can only comprehend by trying to consider prior incidents and the level of desperation that it must take something to do something this extreme. He believed in it that much. I don't believe those that have tried to spin it that he was mentally ill. He seemed very clear of mind, and if you look at the history of self-immolation, others have been of sound mind. There was another one that was covered up, but I want to quote his words here. This is what he had written beforehand. Many of us like to ask ourselves, what would I do if I was living during slavery or the Jim Crow South or apartheid? What would I do if my country was committing genocide? And he answers it for us. The answer is, you're doing it right now. He pulled all cards with that. That is, in fact, points directly at the silence is complicity. How many of us won't even dare to speak up about what's happening? I wanted also to add, I want to reiterate this horrific image. His family wanted people to see it. And if I come to find out that they have changed their mind, mark my words, I will remove this video. But I will also rerun this video, God willing, every year on the anniversary of its happening to remind as many people as I possibly can of what monsters the Zionists are. So this also goes to point out where I've said we have a new conservative turn in some of the black media, those that say they don't have an opinion. When you know a genocide's happening and you have no opinion, you have become as racist and horrific as the pale man. You've absorbed the pale racist wicked spirit. And we've seen that with Tariq Nasheed, who I'm going to go in on today. Particularly, I decided to do that after watching over 100 more Palestinians be murdered for just trying to get food and our government's continued complicity. Not everyone is obligated to make a political statement. Let me be very clear about that. But when you step up and you're talking about you're making political statements and that you are a member of the quote unquote new black media and you do not address global atrocities that are happening right before your eyes, and you say you don't have an opinion on it, you have just confessed that you're aware of it and it doesn't matter to you. It makes you a racist because what's taking place with the Palestinians is absolutely racist. You have a supremacist apartheid state that believes that they are the chosen people of a book that is not theirs exclusively by any means, and they have no more right of claim to being Jewish than anyone else, particularly the Palestinians who've always been there.
Hey, let me see. Let me look up something that I can add to what he's saying. Let me see if I can find this. I gotta go back a little bit. He's right there. So let me look. There was something else that what he's saying. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Not go back any further than that. Yeah.
Day one recap.
No. It'll go back further than that. Okay, I'll find it. Let's see. It's in here. It's in here. I know it's in here. I just gotta find it. And if I don't find it tonight, I'll look it up again. No, this is back too far. It is. It's not this shit here. No. Well, maybe. I don't think. Maybe. I don't think. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Maybe this is me. I don't think. No, this ain't my. I don't know what this stuff is.
Greatest break.
I don't know what that is. I can't find it. Where is this? Yeah, because it went into right. Okay, now this is me. Okay, I did watch this stuff. Okay. It's not going back far enough. Yeah, it's not giving it to me. It's not giving it to me. I'm sorry. But it went into his point. Let's see. Is this it? No, this can't be it. No, this is back too far. It was something I heard recently, like today or last night. But I'm not seeing it right now. And you know, that's how I get sometime. You come across it and then you think you saved it, it's not saved. Let's see. It's not giving it to me. I'm sorry, but it went on the same kind of and basically what it said is what it said is, and this is just, you can look this up anywhere. So in Christianity, I think it's called insury. Yeah, I think it's called insury. So basically, you can't loan money with interest. And so what had happened, and again, the Jewish faith people didn't invent interest and banks. The Templars did. Remember, so Templars became Masons, but yet the bank was kind of, and loans was kind of invented by the Templars. But anyway, so a couple of different things when you saw Jewish faith people come into your land. They would give loans and they would charge interest, compound interest. All right. Also, they would set up games of chance and cheat. Now, a couple countries caught them cheating and would put them out. And then they would try to do the same thing to another country and be mad and say, well, we need to get back to them. But what most countries found out was with Jewish faith people charging interest, they started controlling most of the land. And so what the kings would do is the kings would put their asses out. Now, I'm not saying anything that's new. You can look this up easily of all the countries that expelled Jewish faith people. And, you can look at the book of blood, what is it called? Blood libel. And these books are starting to get expensive about blood libel. What's some of this others? It's not just the interest, it's the blood libel. Where they would come into areas, and these is the Ashkenazis. These ain't the people, these kind of, and they would come in these areas, and all of a sudden, a child or two would come up missing, and once discovered, they've been, some kind of ritual. And then some of these people would get captured, and they would have to explain, what did you do? And so, it's like these stories bounce around from places they had been and been expelled. Like when you watch Schindler's List, the German comes in and he gives the history of when they came into Germany, which is quite telling. And remember what they were in Germany. They were only 1%. But of that 1%, they were the media. Big percent, because really 1% of the population, but again, they were the media. They were the artisans. A lot of again, yes, artisans, a lot of the musicians, a lot of the actors. And Schindler's, this German breaks this down how they came in. And who, again, it was almost a slight taking over like the French Revolution, where they took this bourgeoisie element out and took their wealth in a way. But he breaks down, like what they did and how they came to power in Germany and the positions they held. Remember, when you see these recreations of what happens, they taking them from mansions and taking them into ghettos. Remember? And they say never forget, never again. But it's obvious what's happening across the world. And that it's no different than really what was in South Africa. It's identical to it. And goes back to almost 100 years with the Belfort Act. Others deciding that they deserve, these Zionists. And don't forget the Zionist Christians, which our president is a Zionist Christian. Don't forget that. So those are just some things to consider. Skip Bayless is nothing. Yeah, they're talking about canceling. I think I showed a little bit of that last week. They're talking about canceling Skip. Skip might be canceled pretty soon. His podcast is trash. His podcast can't even compete. Like, you knew his podcast was done when, who was that? Randy Moss talked shit about him or something. Yeah, you knew his podcast was trash then. Reading the thing, so he could remember. Man, I can't not find that. That was deep what I found, but that was the point of it, no doubt. That was definitely the point of it, no doubt. Will this give it to me? Let's see. I ain't watched none of this shit. Ooh, maybe. I want to play what Nick said. Illegal immigrants storm Seattle. Yeah, I should play this. Let me go back to that. I'm going to play that. I think I got that, what Nick was saying. Y'all ain't listening to this shit. Y'all got to listen. This is Nick Taylor. Let me bring this in. This is definitely worth hearing.
Y'all see what it says? Illegal immigrants insanely demanding for more free housing, shutting down Seattle City Council meeting. They stormed the meeting that Seattle City Council was having, demanding more money, more and free housing, not local, free. When there's American, I heard about the homeless problem in Seattle, and the illegals that are here illegally, which is actually makes you a criminal, breaking the law, has walked right past y'all and into your city council and demanding that they get some free houses while you guys, you schlubs, schlub it out and try to make your way. Unfreaking believe. Actually, I do believe it. Welcome to America. Y'all see what it says?
All right. And I like
both parents
rolling today, being at the outlet, you're seeing a lot of different people, and it's a lot of different people up here, no doubt. Are we seeing a bigger outlet of Hispanic folks? I can't say. It's 3.5 million people up here, which are mostly, as the brother says, pale but European people. That's what they claim they're from, so that's what you have to call them. Well, you call them whatever the fuck you want. You want to call them pale, and that's part of it too, yeah. But anyway, so, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that article. That was a good article. But I broke it down, so no reason to. And And I'm gonna let him chop a little more. He's got some good stuff.
Always been there. Their entire edifice is built on lies, literal lies and falsifications of who they are. They're Polish, predominantly. They're from Europe. They didn't originate from Israel. The notion of coming back to it, there's no proof of their origin. And that goes for anyone. As I've said before, all we have is Jewish claiming populations. But we'll find that the underlying genetic signature of all of those Jewish claiming populations is us black people. It's very important. The data's there for any of us to look. If the Ashkenazi were to find the data that I found and have shown and have kept posted for over 4 years now, if they found that about themselves exclusively, they'd be celebrating. They'd be celebrating. It'd be all over the news. We would not be able to get it off of our screens, so to speak. So they're imposters. So to see the black media claim we have nothing to do with it, I assure you that John Henrik Clark would have had an opinion about the genocide. I assure you that if we are to ask Minister Farrakhan right now, he's going to have a problem with the genocide. He's going to say it's unjust. I guarantee you he's not going to say it has nothing to do with us. See, these new Negroes, these new conservative, racist Negroes, they're something entirely different. They're brand new. And I rebuke them. That goes for you too, Fat Phil. So I want to start with the hate that I feel. The hate I feel for this ice cream eating motherfucker. And it's hate. It's organic hate. It is natural hate. There's nothing I can do about it. And it irks me that I feel its presence from my bones. But it's there. I've noted before that I try to lead a spiritual life, spiritually centered life, a nonviolent life. I believe in the principle of ahimsa, nonviolence, that is taught in the Hindu traditions and the Buddhist traditions. But there's something to be said when you feel hate. And I repeat, I hate that old motherfucker right there and everything he represents. He's eating ice cream talking about he's hopeful that there'll be a ceasefire as he provides weapons for the genocide to continue. I enjoy watching him fall apart cognitively on national television. I don't want him to just die. I hope it's slow. That is a monstrous way to feel. But I feel it. And I think this is one of the best depictions of him and that rat bastard Netanyahu. The best caricatures, the most honest. So when I see people in our black media saying that they don't have an opinion on it, it just shows what they've become. We should be grateful that there are other sources emerging that are telling our people the truth. You know, when you see people start to co-sign Tariq Nasheed, who is shady as hell, he's got Jewish handlers. I mentioned that last week, and we're going to do a quick background on that today. I'm going completely organic. What you're seeing here in the background is just my mind manifesting. I usually organize better than that. That's one thing that's beautiful about this software here. I just paste and cut and paste and attach things, and I get this cloud. That's kind of like my mind showing little fragments of my mind and its natural associations based on this subject. I encourage anyone to use the brain digital memory. And I'm not paid to say that, but it's that fine of extension of our minds. It's very organic. So let's go to my older video funded by Ashkenazi. And I said I have clips, multiple clips of Tariq subtly defending the Jewish racism, or rather not defending it, but trying to conflate it with pale racism, refusing to critique it. He does all these movies. You never see him talk about the Jewish participation in the slave trade. There are rumors that his wife is Jewish. And keep in mind, I don't know how many times I have to say that or if it's even necessary. I do not have a problem with the Jewish people. I see them as our cousins. I do have a problem with Zionists. I do have a problem with the racist Zionists. There is no difference. If you are a Zionist supporting the apartheid state of Israel, you are a racist. And I don't have any empathy for you. I have empathy for the kids. I have empathy for the kids because they didn't have a choice of joining that cult. But we're going to go in today. I've noted Tariq, he gets nervous when the subject of Jewishness comes up. And I showed this last week when Tariq was trying to defend or saying that there's no Jewish supremacy, to speak. And I wrote this about a man who was educating Tariq. He was dog walking Tariq, but people that are uneducated in the subject won't realize that. But I stated the man gave Tariq a distinct, well-documented, historically verifiable difference between Ashkenazi racism and European racism, and Tariq diverts again. Tariq is a Zionist bootlick. And the bottom here, you can read the whole thing yourself, but I say, you are fools if you trust Tariq Nasheed on this subject. There is a Zionist problem in the road to reparations that Tariq claims to champion will have to go through an AIPAC-funded Congress. We already went over that last week, but we're going to go in a little bit today. And I've never done an investigation on Tariq. I felt inspired to do so the day after making that video on those observations, what I made last week, and I found it the next day. It wasn't hard. I'm surprised no one else has brought it up. But this goes back to Tariq asking, should Ilhan Omar resign for showing dual loyalty when we know that AIPAC is the epitome of dual loyalty? So this is an AIPAC talking point. And I was asking, why is he asking this? And it's very funny. Phil had someone on his channel ask the same thing. And I asked there, we went over this last week. Why don't you apply the same logic to the Jewish members of AIPAC, Tariq? What they do is far more egregious than a soundbite from Omar. I know why you won't address it. You are a Zionist footstool. I see you. Now, I didn't go over the slow description, and this goes back to Trotsky. It's a whole other tangent, but think of AIPAC, and then think about what I'm going to show you with Tariq right here. Entryism, also called entrism, infiltration, a French term borrowed from within, is a political strategy in which an organization or state encourages its members or supporters to join another, usually larger organization, in an attempt to expand influence and expand their ideas and program. If the organization is being entered is hostile to entrism, the entrists may engage in a degree of subterfuge and subversion to hide the fact that they are an organization in their own right. Now, if we look at what Tariq did with the reparations movement as he infiltrated it, let's just look at it like that. Let's just use that analogy. He infiltrated it, learned what he could, and then went and started his own version as he disparaged what Yvette and Tone were doing. And Yvette and Tone are far better representations and far more expert on reparations than anything Tariq's ever done. So I've noted before how talented Tariq is. He's very talented. He's very smart. But talent and smart does not mean educated, you see. So we have to look at him as a Trojan horse of sorts, as a marketing product that can be used at multiple scales of marketing. And reparations is one of his niches. Note before how I said how impressive it would be if Tariq was that dynamic and did this all his own. Well, that's ridiculous, first of all. There's not that many. Let's look at sports analogy. How many people are doing what Deion Sanders did, playing pro baseball and football on the same day? That's just two sports. Follow me, walk with me. Bo Jackson, two sports. They are the rare among the rare. And we're going to take a look at Tariq's career here and all the different niches he fits in, and you're going to realize that he is a puppet. And we're going to see who pulls the puppet strings. You know what this is? This is MN2S Music and Celebrity Talent Agency. And you can book Tariq through this agency. And let's look. Say you wanted to book Tariq, because you can buy him. You can rent Tariq. That's what booking is. You can rent his services. Tariq Nasheed, also known as King Flex, K-Flex, and Tariq Elite, is a leading film producer and best-selling author from America. Nasheed has produced and directed multiple films, including his highly acclaimed documentary series, Hidden Color. He has also written numerous books on psychology, the dating game, and relationships, including the New York Times bestseller, The Art of Mackin'. He is featured regularly in the media, appearing on shows with Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno. Multi-talented, Nasheed is also a singer of Mink Slide, an R&B group. Nasheed began his extraordinary career traveling the world, studying the different relationship styles around the globe. Inspired by his travels and his interest in psychology and sociology, he wrote his first book, The Art of Mackin', in 1999, which was released by a small publishing house, but went on to become a New York Times bestseller in excess of 250,000 copies. Nasheed became an in-demand relationship expert after the success of his book and went on to write more bestsellers, including Play or Be Played, The Mac Within, and The Art of Gold Digging. So he's a published author of multiple texts, seemingly out of nowhere, and an expert in psychology. This is what's being marketed. So let's take a look at M2S Entertainment. And this is Tariq's agent, Sharon El-Kabas. Sharon El-Kabas. And let's learn about Mr. El-Kabas. El-Kabas was born,
All right, I think you get the point, what the brother's chopping. I'll save that for another day. There's quite a bit left. But, you know, if you want to hear it all, jump over to him and check him out. You can hear it right now. If you want to jump for me, I'm cool with that. But I followed that brother for a few years. They took away his original channel as well. So, I understand. And he puts out good stuff. And he was he's breaking down like they, him, Dr. Winters, they break down the DNA stuff and say that's how we're connected. I think all that can be manipulated. I don't know that we should rely on that as much. So, hey, Reese Peace, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And
Got to have vision.
Skip Bayless is a deadhead. Ain't nobody trying to listen to old head speak about the Cowboys. Yeah, he's done. Yeah. Yeah, Brother Nick is still putting stuff out there. He's got a pretty level head about himself, the way he puts it out there. So yeah. Damn. Let's fucking check that out. But yeah, he puts some good stuff out there all the time. I listen to several folks that, put out good stuff. And that's what you got to do, no matter what level or where you're at, is just put out good stuff. And once you put it out there, if people can connect to it, that's the gift. They can. And that's, the gift of smallness as well. Because like some things and some knowledge ain't for everybody. It's like I learned long ago, you can't save everybody, nor should you try to. That's too big of a burden, what they call it, it's the long bridge to cross, another long bridge to cross. So you just live your own good. And whatever that means to you. I mean, when I show spiritual ways, that you take from it what you can use. Like I literally, if you go to my old shows, I give spiritual baths almost every show. You go back a couple years to my show, you can get a spiritual bath that first 6-7 minutes. That's all you got to listen to. I put those vibrations out that are high vibrations that I freely give. And so that's just one of the things of just sharing my spirituality, that it doesn't take any kind of belief or things to feel something from it. And the way I feel about sports is spiritual to me. The ball field, it comes from creation. Like humans get so caught up in thinking like it was so much created that just humans just started it. And there's so much more, and I've tapped into and explained it was a time where all this looked like oil. That's it. It was just oil everywhere. No land, no nothing, but the beings that lived in it, was able to manipulate it. And I mean, food is a very, like having to, like think about a tree. Think about grass, but specifically a tree. Like there's a tree that has duplicated itself, 100 million times in Utah. It's nothing but one tree that's just duplicated itself to a whole mountainside. It's just one tree and just him everywhere else, or it. And so, the parasitic world of having to eat to sustain is fairly new. And I've said many times, Wes Paneri work and Dr. Valentine's work, where their work kind of blends and mends, and, their interpretation of something very similar. Of, beings being, just certain vibrations. And certain vibrations definitely bring about color, because people don't understand that when you get into creation, you get into sound and color. Like when you watch Lucy and they try to show you how matter came into being, Again, they're telling you matter. They're not telling you about sounds. And, the numbers come later, much later. But you're talking about sounds and colors that make things move without explosions. Because that's what they want to give you. And they want to tell you shit blow up and come. Nah, it's sounds, natural sounds. And these sounds create colors. And then things react from the colors. So, to try to understand how this comes to being, you have to have a little bit of that kind of understanding from the first place. It's like, really getting into the time walking thing is hard to pass, well, really to give anything. I mean, a lot of it is, I don't know if it's prohibited, but it doesn't seem easy to pass, but it's trying to understand, like when I say it all starts with a gentle sadness. Talking about civilization builders and knowing once the civilization is going that you move on. You don't get to see what's left over. You get it started. And that's the message of the time walkers is we get civilization started. And you get in the Micaiah, that was before the Omen or the Omic. And, Dr. Winters touches into that too. It's others. I found that's other places, but he was the first one I heard say that. And relics, I'll definitely give him that credit. So, there is a point that there's a thing called a civilization starter. Now, if you look at how, what was it? What was it? Perseus. Wasn't it Perseus, the movie? The movie where, it was the Greys, and the Greys came to Earth as a man like humanoid, and the humanoid, dissolved himself and started, civilization here. Remember how they tried to show that? And really the reason why the trees can live is because they can't really get rid of them. They can't really get rid of the trees. As much as, they decimated in America, but they still don't seem to be able to decimate them all over the world. I mean, still, you talk about what is the 100 monkey effect? Monkeys learn one thing and then the rest of the monkeys know it. Well, trees been had that. Trees around the world can communicate. As I was saying, the world of the first beings, that's all they are. The ones that they call heaven, that or El Dorado and all that, they're just the first beings, and they are able to live just off the essence of the planet itself. Because if you don't understand that this is so many layers on top of something, that's the point. I think that's the sin, because sin only means to miss the point, to miss the mark. And that's the sin, is to miss the point. And we're layers upon layers upon layers. And all of you, well, if you listen to me, you've probably had some kind of experience with some of this. Well, as they say, seeing, what is it? The veil is something they like to say, but that's kind of it too, Being able to really, and it comes from self. Like the spiritual thing is a self thing. You can have things in common with somebody else, but the real spiritual thing is a personal thing. And I listened to some beautiful brothers and sisters today, and what they were saying is one thing you do have to do is like even when I drink, I ask my body to forgive me. And you have to do that. You have to understand that I have this problem, and it's like, I'm sorry I'm doing this, but please work with me, and I'll do the best to try to counter whatever I'm doing. And that's the true fight of disease. But if you don't have that relationship with even yourself, because that's why so many things are outside of self. And I ain't talking about the ego. I'm just talking about self, the one that you're alone with. I mean, really, if you look at like you were about to crash into a wall at about 200 miles an hour, when you're looking at that wall right before you crash it, it's just you. Jimi Hendrix said, "I'm the one that's got to die when it's time for me to die. So let me live my life the way I want to live it." But the unawareness and how easily people are able to be taken outside of themselves. Self-love is the best love. And most people aren't even comfortable with themselves. As I've said, and I don't pile on my ex-wife, but I'm just saying she can't stand to be by herself. And because, I understand a lot of things can come up when you're alone. Too much thinking, overthinking. And one problem, and let me say this, and this shows, this is you can relate to, and this shows. Like when I was on Plenty of Fish, or it was some shit where you could just stream. It was actually, I never saw it crash. It was part of Plenty of Fish before I got married. I was dating. But it was a streaming service they offered. And it was people on there making money. Now I don't know, but it was like you was able to just come talk. It was like a YouTube kind of thing. And but what it showed me, and what I'm about to relate, which you must know, is it's and OnlyFans proves this. It's a lot of lonely motherfuckers. And it wasn't just COVID that made motherfuckers lonely. Like when people point out people to become suckers, they just straight up become suckers, it comes from them being lonely. And it seems like there's some kind of disconnect from people that put them in that lonely position and cut off. People that say that you don't want children and you don't want this, or you want to stay single. Well, there's consequences to that too. And I think about it, like when I was used to take food to people, hand out food and see, all the older people coming in there. And you could see that this is one of the few times people got to interact. Because, they're getting need food from these places. They ain't got a lot of money to have because it does cost to be social. That's definitely. This college game I'm going to, like Caitlin, to see Caitlin Clark play where I'm going. Them tickets was 100 and some each. And so, to go to this, it's at least $20 each ticket, if not more. It's 4 of us from the family. Or no, it's three adults. My daughter, she gets in free because she is performing. But socializing cost. Unless you just going to the library, going somewhere to volunteer, but socializing can cost. Now, I love it that you live here. If you live here in Minneapolis, you can catch the train, catch the bus, go out to the Mall of America and just people watch. Have you a coffee and have you a burger or something. It ain't very expensive. And just people watch. Keep you from being lonely. You can be around, at the average Mall of America, it's 35,000 people out there all the time when it's open. Weekends, it multiplies to about 100,000 a day. So you're inside a city, a functioning city. And so this is, I'm gonna get this point across. It's like, I like being married. You know, like I'm predictable. I'm you know, if a motherfucker want to kill me, it'd be easy. I don't do much. You know, when I should be playing pickleball outside because the weather is so agreeable, but it'd be easy to motherfucker see what I do. We'll get him on the pickleball court. You think the world is going towards the movie for predictive programming? The movies, her shows everybody will have relationships more with these phones and watch. I mean, yeah, they, you know, like we've all created this. You know, we've all created this. My oldest child is 34, so if you can relate to being 34, my youngest is 12, but all my sons are 22 to 34. Isn't he 22? Yeah, okay. So if you can relate to that period of when shit came out, okay. So like I can remember the first what was the Nintendo with the turtle on it and stuff, and getting that to my son, and then getting, you know, when my other son was, I think, got him his first Xbox, the first PlayStations. So we bought all these things, and imagine, you know, if you're between 22 and 34, imagine when you got your first phones. It's about the time them niggas got their first phones. I've told the story before. My first phone was a bag. It was almost like you watch the World War II movies and they have a bag and they crank it and shit and have to call somebody. It's almost like that. the first phones was big ass bags you carried. And so providing these things for this generation of people between 22 and 34 right now. You understand? Providing these things. And the same for my 12-year-old. She's probably watched Frozen a million times. The leapfrogs. Tablets is everywhere. Then they gave them tablets. You get in junior high, they give you a tablet. So we're conditioned, social, economical conditioned to gravitate to these things. You know, and again, you know, this is the my. And I'm the only one on this that talks about the my. Unless you read West. No, West don't even talk about it. This is Stinchion's work. He's the only one that really talks about it. And so the way it has to hand out things, it couldn't have gave you the, you know, probably in very limited forms. It was probably some beings that did give some advanced communication things too. You can't doubt that. You can see how certain people got rich over certain things, and you know, the Mai probably did help them. And so this has been the Mai's, you know, aim from the beginning, is to make everything totally dependent on it. All interactions that you do. I mean, phones are addictive. I mean, if any of you out there listening to me say you ain't addicted to your phone, you some lying motherfuckers. I mean, look on your phones. I'm just, other than when you work, and goddamn it, when you work, what the fuck do you do when you're on your break? You motherfuckers that work, what do you do when you're on your break? Now, if you got a job where you just can do what the fuck you want to do, how often do you look at your phone? You ain't got to tell me, because I know I've had jobs where I can just get on that motherfucker anytime I want to get on it. Right? So these, you know, I'm addicted to my phone. You're addicted to your phone. I've got this is a gaming computer right here that my son built for me. This motherfucker right here is super bad. This is all I use it for. There ain't no email or nothing connected to it. It's just for me streaming. I got YouTube on it. That's it. So these two monitors here, and this one's fucking 4K. This one's, you know, it's not good as the TV downstairs, but this was for a monitor. This motherfucker's bad. All the damn time for the most part. So, I'm not, and so we all are captivated by it, and we it's almost a natural thing. And I've said before, it's so funny that the brick has won, because I don't give a fuck what you say. The best of the old cell phones was the bricks. Hands down was the bricks. They was the best cell phones. And when you could when you had a Benz and you put the brick in the Benz, it worked the best. The brick worked the best. When you could put the brick in a car, it worked better than like of the old phones, but the brick by itself was the best working phone. Like it was a period where you could almost have a brick 6-7 years later, and it was still better than a lot of the phone. Even when the Motorola flips came out, that you could also text with. Far as reception, it was the best one of the old technology. And technically, even though a lot of people say these is Palm Pilots, it's still technically, if you look at the girth, this width, it is the brick. It's a slim brick, but it's the brick one. Because remember, for a while it was the clamshell. They trying to bring the clamshell back, but technically the brick has won. The brick is one. So to go from having a big ass bag, and I've hit them all. I had the skinny pagers. I had those right when I was fucking in college. The skinny pagers. They just blinked and you had to call the number in. That was the old pagers. Oh, I need to call. And they wasn't skinny. They was about this fat, as fat as my man here, I don't know, y'all. I'm intrigued by so many things. I don't, mean to show that the deaths go with it, with you seeing the sacrifice. That's why I show the deaths. It's part of the sacrifice. I mean, famous people, that's of all the things, if you want to say of the one way you see what happens to all famous people, it's the deaths. It all comes when it adds up. That's the problem, is it all adds up. What is this? Not better. Not better. I'm still very shiny. Maybe a little better, not as shiny. And so that's why I show that, because it is not the people that it happened to are not the ones that deciding. Like that lady lived to 102. You saw that protection turquoise on her. She knew something. And she was able to, and not famous. I mean, again, the beast, you pay as much you got to fame as you got to taste. Yeah, let's see. So that's all, Yeah, they burned our homeless out. They burned these motherfuckers out. So they're trying to get rid of that shit. And up here, when the weather is mild, and some of these places had stoves and shit in them, and that's why they're showing that they probably. Oh, okay, this might be recent. This says two different things, but I gotta pee again, so I think this
recordings.
I think this will take over while I go pee. Oh my goodness, and I ate Friday. I gotta make more videos. See, you guys seen my son, my son that's 6'6", 6'7", or 6'8", somewhere in there. I think closer to 6'8". But anyway, he's a darkie, and my wife is a darkie too, I'm only a darkie on paper, so remember that. So they take us in the Vietnamese restaurant and they put us back in the corner by ourselves. Now did I show the video, or did I make the video? Where we go in and they put us again. It's like the rest of the bars right here. Like Cheers is in a Cheers bar restaurant right here. And they put us on the side by ourselves. And I always point that out to them. Man, I remember my dad had a big body Benz, had that phone in that joint. I used to whip to get to older chicks. I'd have to tell you it's a story. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, them brick phones and like Benz was one of the first, even before BMWs, where you could hook the brick into the Benz. And it was one of the ones that it was made for, kind of. And I mean made for is that they work really good. Because people don't understand. They've had car phones since the 50s. I'm going to say that again. They have had car phones since the 1950s. This is a fact. My mother used to work for Bell. And she, like when I got into Larry Lavin, if you want to get into, he's the cocaine dentist guy. Larry Lavin was like talking about having a car phone. It wasn't a cell phone. He was talking about a car phone. He had car phones, and they make this. It's a distinctive before having the early cell phones and a car phone. The car phones were older than cell phones, if you understand. So there was already a way to put a phone in your car that existed before you hooked into a cell phone. You could get a car phone since the 1950s. What's his name? Marvin Bad News Barnes. And I hate, one time I was at the store and the store had this shit said bad news. I ain't have any bread. And I'm like, look, man, because I was going to work that weekend. Said, keep this motherfucker till Monday. I'll go buy it. I'll definitely buy it. Of course, they sold it, and I can't find another one that says bad news like that. But I bring him up because they said it's something like this nigga put like 20 phones in his car or something. But you could get car phones since the 50s. And that's niggas that really balled, Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging in the lean with the gangster lean, gangster white walls, TV antenna in the back. And when you had the old type of television, or the old type of signal, you could put a TV antenna in your car and pick up that local television signal. So that's, that technology. Look up some pictures of Ali. Ali had record players and put in his cars in the 60s. Where he look at his seat. He got a pile of 45s. And yes, when you hit a bump, it'll make it skip. Definitely. But he put records in his car. Because that's the technology he had, and listen to the music he wanted to hear. So I'm going to play this bullshit while I go piss. So, this is, I don't know, a little bit of debauchery, I guess.
First told you about early this morning. Right now, a Ramsey County deputy is recovering after being hit by shrapnel during a car chase last night. That deputy will be okay, but people in St. Paul, where the shooting happened, say the violence has them worried, both for their own safety and for first responders. WCCO's Alan Henry spoke to a witness and has the latest tonight on the investigation.
Just went upstairs and I heard several gunshots out in front of my house. I ran downstairs and a squad had pulled into front of my driveway.
As he was turning in Friday night, the last thing Jim Bicknell expected was for a police chase to end outside of his home with an injured deputy. According to St. Paul police, their officers saw a car driving recklessly near Payne Avenue and Jessamine Street. They tried to stop the car. It fled, and they decided not to pursue. Moments later, a nearby deputy saw the same car speeding by and gave chase when a passenger in that car shot at him with a rifle.
I heard probably like 4 or 5 gunshots, I'm not sure. But the officer got out and you could see he was pulling off his vest and stuff and looking to see where he got hit.
The expended round went through the car and struck him in the strap of the bulletproof vest, which was over his collarbone, because he's having some discomfort there.
You could see when the officers first got their buddy out of the car that they were pretty concerned with how he had been hurt. If he'd been injured badly, they pulled his vest off and everything and checked him over before the first responders even got here, so they were pretty concerned.
Bicknell says after the recent killing of first responders in Burnsville, this incident hit too close to home in more ways than one.
For me, it's kind of scary too, because my grandson is a first responder. He's a paramedic, and he goes into these situations that you don't know what's going to happen there. So, he says he always lets officers go in first.
Police were able to find that car that fled 6 blocks away. but not the people who were inside. Bicknell hopes they do, and fast.
If you were following them too close, they might shoot at you. You know, so it's kind of scary to think that there's people out there that have no regard for human life.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
The Ramsey County Sheriff identified the deputy shot as Deputy Joe Kill and say he's already been treated and released from a local hospital.
Did they just say Joe Kill? They just said the deputy's name was Joe Kill. Pretty sure that's what he said. Let's listen again. Joe Kill.
Hospital. St. Paul police are in charge of investigating the shooting and searching for the. St. Paul police are in charge of been treated and released from a local hospital. Ramsey County Sheriff identified the deputy shot as Deputy Joe Kill and say he's already been treated.
Joe Kill. Now, we just had 4 people shot, 3 killed, 1 firefighter, paramedic, 2 officers, another one shot. And now all of a sudden a dude named Joe Kill. I mean, come on. That appears very unlikely, but this is what they report. This is what they report. Joe Kill. Okay, Joe Kill Noah. Oh, I heard this the other day, and this is rough. Well, it'd be like stuff. But I guess if you didn't have the things. Okay, this is another story that, like, you could avoid this, but let's go. This could be avoided, but let's go.
After a small plane crashed near a home in a quiet neighborhood east of the Twin Cities. It happened just before 10 a.m. in Afton, Minnesota. WCCO's Uba Ali is live there right now with details. Uba, what can you tell us?
Derek, authorities have confirmed an 85-year-old man from White Bear Lake and a 68-year-old man from Baytown Township both died in this crash. Now, this is as close as we can get, so I'm going to get out of the frame here so photographer Joe Van Ryan can zoom in, but you can see just how close this plane crashed to this home, just steps away from the garage. We know people were inside this home at the time, but we're told no one was hurt. Take a look at these aerials from earlier today. You can see the charred remains of this silver plane, but what also is visible is just how close this plane crashed near this home. Authorities say neighbors called for help after hearing what they say sounded like a small explosion. Emergency crews got here to find a plane engulfed in flames. As of right now,
God damn.
See the charred remains.
Look at that shit. This plane still cost probably $500,000. 400 at least, just looking at the fuselage here. Wow. Wonder if they fell asleep. What made this little plane fail? And look at this. I mean, when this plane crashed, look at all, this is a fire. And this fire didn't reach the house. It looked like it didn't even burn this shed. It didn't even melt, maybe a little bit on the bottom. Maybe this is a little bit of melting on the bottom. Maybe we can't really tell. But look at it. Well, yeah, okay. The door is kind of deformed on the shed. Now, it's the tree, ain't no leaves, but wow, they got lucky. But like, what made this little motherfucker crash? Small plane. I mean, this was a 2 or 4 seater. So that's why I say around 4. Well, depending on the year too. It's kind of hard to tell. But you know what? If they wasn't in this motherfucker, they'd still be alive. So don't let money kill you. Guess that's my message to everybody. I don't know why they were in the small plane. They ain't crop dusting, but don't let money kill you. And I'm going to say this with all sincerity. It's like I've come across can't get the shit right. This shit off. And none of it looks good. Okay, maybe that's the best, but not really. But This is like, I'm going to say this to what it is. It's like I knew people that had money and had pools and their children died in their pools. And they let money kill their children. Because with that pool and you have young children, that comes a great responsibility to all the time. There ain't no time off for that. You know, you got to always be thinking. People tell stories. They went in the house and the child, like you went in the house, you let a baby near some water, near some water. I mean, it's amazing, some of these stories. Well, I just turned my back. And I was that opposite parent where, it was like, shit, very vigilant, Yeah, I ain't rocking a no plane. Yeah, them little planes. I mean, I remember. Yeah, them little planes, huh? Yeah. Now, Lear jets, them smaller jets, that's a different story. That is a joy. But them little planes where it's just me, wind, and they'll go. And this is what a little plane, and they ain't cheap. Some of these planes, I've said, 600,000-700,000, some of them. Some of them you can get cheaper, but I mean, it reminds me of like the difference between a Model T and a current car. So you can fly a plane that ain't really a jet, but it'll get you hundreds of miles away. It's technology from, old technology, but you can still buy them type of planes that will get you where you need to go. They're little, they're not very comfortable, but if you know how to fly, they can get you a couple hundred miles away. I just think of Buddy Holly, how he got fucked up in a little plane. And again, they got fucked up in a plane in the middle of winter, where it's very questionable that you should go up in the air when it's so cold. Yeah, you understand? It's winter. Why are you flying in the Midwest in the winter? Kind of greedy. Yeah, it's too cold to fly. Well, what was her name? Walking After Midnight chick. They said her plane ran into the side of a mountain. What was her name? Walking After Midnight. Oh, okay. Patsy Cline. That's what I was looking for. Ah. Do you really want to dance? Does anybody? So how's everybody? What's your week like this week? Everybody, it's March. My ex-wife is about to turn 50, middle of the month. It's funny, my two of my exes have birthdays right next to each other. One of my ex's birthday is on the 22nd. My other ex's birthday is on the 23rd. And yeah, my ex will be, I've known her for 30 years, 30 years. I remember I picked her up from the hospital and she was still living with her man, but she was like naked up in there because she was sick, getting the discharge from having surgery. She's like, no, he's fine. Like, no, I don't want to see all this. You can keep it. You can keep it. But no, I'm proud of her and wish her the best. Definitely. And that celebration of child support going off too, and it wasn't much, but still, it's like that's they can't mess with you anymore. That is a interesting thing. That the financial impact is not existent anymore. Of people that, they try to make a profit off of you, off of your misery. And don't think they don't. It's profit off your misery. And not saying, people did leave people in bad conditions, no doubt. There is no doubt about that. I've said before, I found the paperwork of my dad. He owed my mom something like $10,000 when I graduated. That back then they would just, you turned 18, they was like, fuck it. I mean, because I found the paperwork. That's how I found my stepdad's gun. I was just looking through their shit, Nigga said he had a gun. I was like, where? I found the gun, but when I found the gun, I found the paperwork. Matter of fact, when I found a lot of this paperwork was, I just came back from college and I looked and went in their shit again. I just came back from college and I'm smarter. I'm like, oh, what the fuck these niggas really got? And I found all this paperwork and I'm like, this nigga owed me $10,000 when I graduated. And they didn't do nothing about it. They just let it go. Well, he did what he could. The nigga's 18, let him go. You don't owe anything. And it's not really like that. And it's a weapon. Child support, is a weapon. And it's a business. Let's make no excuse about it not being a business. And it's a blood-sucking business. But it's a business you can also go buy. And you look at the numbers of what you paid, and it's like, hey, I really didn't get it so bad. Compared to other people. I remember people getting their checks and be like, what? I done worked all this and I make this much. And I remember I worked with some dudes and they was so jealous because I had a brand new car. And these niggas had been working in their jobs. And one dude said he hated payday because most of his pay went to his children and his ex-wife. And this nigga's living broke, driving a raggedy car, been working there forever. And payday means paying them. And it was stinging him. And that's, the decisions they make. That's the decisions they make. You see Nature Boy get life. Nature Boy. I ain't right. Nature Boy is not a really... Yeah, who is Nature Boy again? Yeah, maybe. I kind of remember the name. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not really... Don't really remember who he is. But he got life, huh? Well, I imagine he deserved life. If he got life, I imagine he deserved life. Because, in these days and age, if you don't kill somebody and get life, you probably deserve life too. They give you life and you didn't kill anybody. You probably deserve life. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about nigga news. I just don't. And I guess he's in the realms of other dudes that said good stuff, useful stuff. But, one reason or another, they were perverts. And it seemed like, they turned into perverts. Like they weren't perverts at one time, but seems like at one point they turned into perverts. So, yeah, he was big on YouTube. He was living in a jungle tribe. He was living in the jungle with the tribe. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, he was in the jungle with some niggas. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm old man and I'm not really remembering who he was. Yeah. But it's like Polite broke down like one of his early videos that was really good. And you look at people that like even with even I'll say about Dr. Winters, there's some stuff that's good stuff. But Polite, if you can find this, and maybe I'll try to find it where he breaks down like how light bulbs, how they're designed, it's like the way they're designed doesn't, they're designed not to give you vitamin D because they can design light bulbs, that can give you vitamin D. But light bulbs are designed not to give you vitamin D. And he does a very brilliant, just the way it affects you, the way it affects your consciousness and your reality is a great breakdown of all the things I heard him say. That part was cool. Now, the rest of it seems like, again, you get that you become a character, a character that you're supposed to play. And that's what we see with a lot of them cats. And it's, and salute to Turtle Gang for staying away from a lot of them motherfuckers. He stayed away from them and he still, he stays in his own lane. I mean, he for the best I could say is like he gets attacked, but I think he likes being attacked because he seems to constantly being attacked and got the stuff. And it's like who, like I don't, what I am and who I am and what I experience is like, fuck if you believe it or not, it doesn't really matter to me, or I it has no effect on me whatsoever. Some people, others' opinions have effect on them, I guess. So, I'm a different kind of cat. I'm confident in mine, and I've got it. I'm like special ed. I got it made. And, the spiritual stuff, I live. It's like I left my carry bag. I left it here. And it's like I hate traveling where that stuff that I carry with me doesn't get to experience what I experience. And it's my goodies was in there and shit too, but it's like everything in the bag is for a purpose. And I like it to travel with me through space time. And I was like disappointed that it didn't get to travel with me. It's like this skull here has, it's originated in China. This is obsidian from China, but this motherfucker's been to Michigan, Wisconsin, Arkansas. This motherfucker goes with me. When I travel, this motherfucker definitely goes with me. And I didn't go with me this time because it was just a day trip, but it's like I like taking my things. So I was disappointed in that. And I take that the panther man, the jaguar, the were baby, they call it, that transformation. I keep that. I like keeping that energy with me too. Like the book downstairs, the heavily into the shaman. Well, if you really break down what a shaman is, a shaman needs a vessel. And that's like, and a vessel can be a demon, and it's again, like my brother really breaks it down brilliantly, like the way the European got in, and this gets into, what's his name? John D. And what's the other cat's name? Casey. But we'll break with John D. And, like these Europeans really couldn't get into our spirituality. They had the skulls, they had these crystals, and they ain't know what the fuck this shit was. And so one way that they was able to kind of get into it is the way the shaman had to get into the spiritual world. And so the shaman would take some shit to have him tripping. But he would need a vessel. And so a lot of time the shaman would pick a demon. And you get into Solomon and how to control demons or whatever you want to call it, but you could get into that and you could pull that kind of energy. And from there you would move through as that you could move through. Now, the cooler thing about the czar is it's a complete trade. Like the czar possession is, okay, you're coming into me, but I'm going into the czar. You're coming into this reality, but I'm going into that reality, which is a much fairer trade. So that's a greater trade. You're getting to go into this to go whatever work you have to do there. And that's why, what's practiced in America is definitely not that. To be part of the hero twins, you need nothing of some type of demon. And so, I have the book, like one of my books keeps saying that, and it's nothing like that. You don't need that in America. Now, another way you could do it too is a spirit animal. That's a better way than picking out a demon. Because with a spirit animal, it's the binding. You wouldn't have to bind it. You wouldn't have to do a binding spell with that animal, the spirit animal. You fucking with them demons, you better know some type of binding, because it's not just free with them. There's definitely a price. And, you want it to take you to these realms, and, there's a price for that. Where with an animal, it's a little different. And some of the areas, you still go in the same areas, but you go in the areas through this animal. And the tributes of what that animal has as it goes through the spiritual world. It's like, I think Bomber was saying, like, when, a lot of times when they looked at the czar and the czar would sacrifice the goat, the trade was, the goat would give you a vessel to travel in the czar with. But from what I experienced, it's like you don't need anything to travel faster through it in. Matter of fact, it's like really to possess people, it's a slower process from possessing them like that. It is not just something you need to be zoomed through. Like it's literally like you go into a room to see if, it's almost like fishing. That's the best way I can explain it. Possessing is like fishing. And I'm still at a very low level. I was only able to possess a lion. But it's like fishing. You can hook into it and then you can tap into it. Once you hook it, you tap into it. And it's like it's like literally like you get scenes. And from these scenes, you have to tap into it. And if you can hook it, you can possess it. It's like that. That's the only way. That's the best way I could tell you how it kind of happens. And it's how long you can do it. I can't say. My time wasn't very long. But again, it wouldn't be something if to learn certain information, you wouldn't really have to do it very long. So. And that truly goes into real agreements. Like, it ain't haphazardly you just doing shit. Well, Crystal, man, I should grab the Bible. I travel with some Pneumite, and Pneumite, my skull, I have a little Pneumite skull, and Pneumite is logical. It really, and driving, again, I'm one of the few that tell people about the troll under the bridge, because that's what driving is. There, every aspect of driving is controlled, and it's also controlled spiritually. It's designed with understanding how you're feeding what allows it, because travel is allowed by definitely an entity. I mean, when they started building these roads, I mean, literally, you're trying to build across a country that's full of entities. But it's like one entity kind of won out. No, I'll say yes and no. Yes and no. And so from the combustion engine, it feeds off of. It feeds off the, rubber being burned on the road. It feeds off of all that, no doubt. I like Pneumite because it gives you that logic. It seems to connect with the logic of driving. Cat's Eye is another one that seems to travel. Cat's Eye is another one that you can travel with. And really, like the ultimate amplifier is always going to be quartz or amethyst. Those things are always ultimate amplifiers. So, if you feel like, see, it's like, again, what is your aim when you're moving? Like if you need safety, again, Pneumite, obsidian, one of the black crystals, even tourmaline, if you feel you need to be safe while traveling. And so putting crystal combinations together is what is the purpose while you travel that you need the crystal to do. That's what you have to really come up with, is what do you need it to function with? There's a safety, is abundance, because you can travel with abundance, And Centurine is always a great abundance traveler. If you need your idea amplified, again, amethyst and quartz is great for that. Because, I mean, think about it. If you're going to a meeting and you need a little more success in that meeting, amplifiers, I mean, diamonds are great amplifiers too, but on a cheaper scale. So that's really how you have to look as travel. Now, if you're just saying a daily traveler, black tourmaline, black kyanite, you can keep this in your car as a daily traveler. And this is, that's a great daily traveler. If you're just saying daily traveling and needing overall protection, black stones will give that to you, no doubt. Sugarite. You could even get a piece of sugarite because I think I have a sliver of sugarite in the car too. And sugarite is a great protector of just daily traveling. But think of wilder, like if you need to travel in abundance or where you're going, you need abundance. There's things you can carry. Again, citrine is great for that. To when you're going to your meeting, you carry the citrine, then you get to your meeting. And great amplifiers too is any kind of diamond. But if you can even take a Herkimer diamond, and it'll truly give you a great amplification of what you're trying to do, your idea. So it's ways you can put crystals together, or just what is your purpose? And I think a lot of people don't understand or put that together. It's like when you travel where you're going, what is your purpose of this travel? Because every travel has a purpose. So often we mindlessly travel, but we travel always with a purpose. And so the purpose, the crystal should fit the purpose is my point. Depending on your purpose, then you should have several purposes. That's all. And again, I don't sell them, so you ain't saying, I'm hustling. I'm trying to sell them. No, I'm just saying that there can be different crystals for different purposes. That's all. And you don't need to buy. I mean, this one might have been expensive because it's Greenland, and these were kind of expensive for the bigger pieces. But it's it's not expensive to put simple magic together to give you safe travel. So just, I guess the simplified, if you just need safe all the time travel, a black crystal would be great for that. So if you need abundance, citrine. If you need your idea amplified, you're trying to sell something, Herkimer diamond, but also quartz and amethyst, which is just another type of quartz. So that's the trying to cover all the bases of how to break it down. Yeah, that's all. And I don't think a lot of people would break it down like that, but that's the way it should be broken down. It's purpose. Crystals should have a purpose. They react best to purpose. Like I've got all these crystals around here, and it's like I had to bring a lot of crystals from downstairs upstairs, and it's like kind of got to give them a better purpose of aim. So yeah, I need to do that myself. But I don't know. It all goes together. So I love it because it all goes together for me, and it all like you come in here and it's totally me. It's like totally my area. And you feel it. Like my mother was looking at this poster because we were thinking about putting it downstairs. She's like, no, this is totally masculine. And it's my energy, because I put it all together, so. And even, when I lift weights, I lift and get on this mug. So doing all that too. And starting therapy this week. Yes, I got to find out, do I have therapy tomorrow? No, I don't. And I love when they take that little piece of metal and they go on my Achilles. Oh, that feels so good. It hurts, but it feels good to stretch it out. And I think this time I'm getting it on both legs. So I look forward to that. And, as I said, I could have been playing pickleball outside, but I've got to aim too. My knees are healed. It's not really slipping. So when I start again, wear the braces. Yeah. And get into it. And that's, why I went out to the outlet was basically just getting some walking in. That's all. It's a beautiful day. And being around people too, So I'm saying, motherfuckers, like one thing that I'll say about me is like, I don't understand lonely. Like I really don't. As I was saying, they say it's a lot of lonely people, but I don't understand. I could never understand like to the point where I would have to pay a girl or pay a person to talk to me, or give me some attention because they say my name while we're online. I don't know. But I don't understand like loneliness. I can't say a point in my life I ever felt lonely. And that's not egotistical, you know, that's not the ego talking. I'm just saying I've always been fine with my own company. I mean, I stayed single 5, 6 years really because of I'm okay with not being with just anybody. You know, I'm fine with myself. So, thank you. I'm looking to some. Okay, yeah, and replay it to see. But have an aim. You know, we all have aims, and that's the aim of, and that's like manifesting. You know, manifesting has to have an aim. Like I had to really step back because I was like thinking like I look back to some of the houses I've lived in. And I was like, wait a minute, I manifested these motherfuckers. I'm like, damn. You know, it's like I can really manifest what I want. And so I really had to take a step back this time. I'm like, yeah, I know what I can manifest. And so we were thinking because we really could have moved and bought another house. We no doubt we was approved to get the other house, but we looked at it and it's like what we need and the price now just doesn't make sense. And it's like not getting it is like it's not a lose at all. Not buying another house at this point, you know, because we're keeping this place regardless. This is such holy grand, holy land and spiritual. This is the most spiritual place I've ever lived, and I've had I've lived in places that have very spiritual experiences, but all the time and glowing and being connected to the land. This is this we live on a giant hill. I can see like my mother lives on a fifth floor and sees all the city. I mean, beautiful view. But where I live, I can see what she sees where I live. And I live from downtown Minneapolis, I think 15 miles, 16 miles, maybe less. I'd have to look it up. Let me see. Let's see how far it is to downtown. Okay, this is I think over to my son's house. Yeah, so about 15 miles. Yeah. Yeah, because this is the downtown. Yeah, this is there where they used to live. 15 miles. Yeah, so. But I'm glad I don't have to go there often. I don't go to the city too often. I like living in the suburbs. But where we live is definitely like we live, next to a big ski hill, and there's still snow up there. There's in March, they're still skiing and what do they call it? Snowboarding and shit. Yeah, they're doing all that tubing. And they haven't been making snow. It's interesting. And today think about this. It was 73 degrees today, and a block away from me, you can go ski. Make that make sense. 73 degrees, but a block away from me, you can go ski, and it's snow. You can, you can use the inner tube. You can tube. They can't, what do you call it? Toboggan. They don't have toboggan runs over there. Do y'all know what tobogganing is and how fun a one-man toboggan sled is? Because toboggans are on runs, and you get that one-man little toboggan, and you sit upright in it, and you would just shoot out. Now, the 8-man and the 6-man or the 4-man toboggans is kind of cool too. Or the 2-man toboggan, but 8-man is really fun because you really move down the run really fast. Everybody together. Some winter fun that, if you ain't grow up in the winter that you wouldn't know, I might have started, I started playing football first. My first gift was probably a football and a helmet. I've said that many times. So running away from my little cousins playing football was probably the first sport I played. I'm Gail Sayers, and I got the football, and they can't tackle me, and I could stiff arm a little bit. set me on a path. And, what a glorious path I think this is. I'm going to be 63 this year. My mother just turned 83. I have a son that's about to be 23. My daughter will be a teenager at 13 this year. And it has happened the way that I knew that it all would happen. I am the best at being me. And I don't try to force anything. I understand all the ebbs and flows of life. And I try to point out, because this is what a lot of it is ebbs and flows. You can't be too emotional when certain things hit you. You still got to understand it all is ebbs and flows. And there's even a lesson, and you can take notes, and you can see faults and mistakes. For the challenges that you do, you understand faults and mistakes. Others too, note them that you can take advantage of their mistakes. And a part of the czar that that you all can do and you have done before, and it is a little advice for maturity. And this is the advantage of being able to czar. And this is the most practical use of it. When you're in a given situation, you should be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Because if you're an analyzer, if you haven't learned that, again, I am another yourself. Why would yourself say and do what they're doing at this time? And that's the easiest way to czar, is to just do a quick flip to understand that side of thinking. Okay, you say that. I need to understand how to feel while you think like that. To feel it and understand that perspective. And then if it's a point where, you have to persuade, you have a better way to persuade. You're like, okay, I know why you feel like that. This is what I need to add. And that's a quick way to flip the czar. And you don't even need to interact off it, because you can just feel the perspective. Well, why do you think like that? I need to understand that. Let me flip into understanding, seeing through your veins. The eyes of Lower Marsh, no doubt, the eyes of Lower Marsh. I need to see through them eyes to understand, where you're coming from. And that's, to me, the most practical way to use this are. Being able to see somebody else, sit in somebody else's shoes to understand why they're thinking the way they're thinking. And that's not always bad, to understand another perspective. I still got the window open. Man, this is a great thing. It's funny, like alchemy is a ever-moving thing. And I was like, man, do I really want to remove my barrier? Because I needed to push some energies out. And then we had this day-to-day, and I had like all the windows open. And we have some really interesting current, especially I open my front door, then I have the patio door open, and then I have my kitchen window open. It all brings a nice little current in. And so this is a way of cleansing the house without removing my barriers. Because I was like, I need to kind of move the energy out of here. But I was like, no, my barriers can stay the same. It's like I let nature come on in and just cleanse it, so. I was able to do that a little bit today. And washed my car. I hadn't painted my tires in months. So painted my tires, washed some gook off my car. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. Whatever they were spraying on the highway was on the ride. I was like, this is that bullshit. And it was probably some kind of, anti-ice is what I'm guessing. So. And it's like, my car is enough. It's enough. My car has 187 miles on it, 187,000 miles, and it's like more than enough. The seats are comfortable. It rides well. It'll go anywhere in America I need it to go. The Acura, we just took the Acura to fucking, Iowa and back. So it does everything safely we need it to do. Oh, and Apple, I love Apple Music. I've been hearing all my music, just 4 hours of just nothing about my music. It's kind of cool too. Got the navigation going, and the music is playing. Radio is not a real thing, and CDs. You got the streaming constantly, and that's a beautiful thing. You have hundreds of songs thousands of songs that just come up and as she's traveling. And it gets my wife gets it because she's like I constantly surprise her because she turned to a station. They started playing all these old songs, and they played some of that Leroy Hudson, and she was like, "I've never heard this song." And she's 52. She's like, and I'm singing the song. I'm like, I love some Leroy Hudson. I love Leroy Hudson, and she's like, "Wow, it's not too much that gets by me." No, it's especially R&B, 60s, 70s R&B. Ain't too much that I didn't know. I didn't know that Lenny White song. I'll be the first one. I love you. I'd never heard that song. Yeah, that Steve Harvey shit was the first time I was told about the song by my ex-wife. I'd never heard it though, because we never heard it together. Steve Harvey was the first time she's like, "That's it." And so that song didn't have a great impact on me. Spray white vinegar and lemon juice with windows open, fan blowing, atmosphere. Get the corners. Okay. Okay. Plus my car smells like eucalyptus. The people that used to own the car smoked. So it took me a good minute. And I've had this car for 2 years. Yeah. Over 2 years. So um and really, it's like the car just needs something. Well, it's not. It's like a common Ford problem. It's probably needs. I need another water pump. It's probably had one put on there. The amount of miles on it. So, and it's just where the water pump is. Again, poor design. Poor design. Because a lot of engines, water pumps, can be in different positions, and this is actually kind of like I was saying. Having certain years of Lexus where they put it in, they put easy parts to take off and on in bad positions, and that's what this is. It takes a engine rebuild. I just didn't do enough, and it's my other car probably had the same problem, and the motherfucker had 200 and some thousand miles on it. Another Ford, the engine what my engine is, so and that's the work is a lot, but it's technically minor what it needs, you know. So, and I'm happy with that. And it has like 6 speakers and a fucking subwoofer in it, and so it's like I'm blowing my ears out. It's like good when my daughter's in the car with me because I don't play the music as loud. When I'm by myself, that shit is going. I got that shit jamming. When I used to have now the best systems is Land Rovers, Range Rovers. They put 11 to 15 speakers. My Land Rover had 11 speakers in that motherfucker. And it had a big giant subwoofer. Like when you would open the door at the back, the subwoofer was connected to that. That motherfucking car. It had like three like my car has like 2 tweeters on each side. It had like 3 tweeters in the pillars. Tweeters. So you hear all this. Uh, uh, and so yeah, I have the eucalyptus in my car from Bed Bath and Beyond. You can get the little natural oil things to put in there, and it's like air filters that you have inside your car. So I keep those in there. And like really, you clean your tires. You put tire protectant on your tires, and tire protectant makes it shiny. But you should always seal your tires with tire protective. And one thing always happens is like you might lose a little pressure when it gets really, really cold. That's very common that you lose pressure when it gets cold, tire pressure. So it's nothing to and run flats. Don't be fooled by run flats. I would tell you though, we had a run flat with a hole about that big in it, and that motherfucker took us about 12 miles and took us home. Matter of fact, we went out there with it like that, you know. So run flats will last in snowy conditions too. Because Christmas Day, and when the next day we went and had to get them replaced, and we didn't get run flats again. But run flats can get big defects in them and still get you there. Because my son and I got out the car and we put the flashlight. He's like, man, there's a hole in the tire. You're like, you're right, but I think it'll make it because we went out here with that hole in it. So that's what they say, run flats. When I look at people like driving, like I seen a little dude with a donut on his car, and he's on the highway driving with a donut, and it didn't look like he had just changed it, like he had changed it. He looked like he had the donut. I saw one car, and this was scary. I saw one car, its suspension was so bad, it was like bouncing on the passenger side. So as you're driving, the car was doing a lot of this. And it was doing it so much, he was having trouble holding it. Because he would hit, highways, this shit ain't like no carpet. This shit is, if you got a decent suspension, you ain't feeling all that. This motherfucker was feeling, it was like everything was coming to his, so he was having to, the car would bounce like this, and, he's struggling to keep it open. But again, remember, everything is social economical. If this car is taking you to your job, and it's helping you feed whoever you got to feed, yourself, pay your rent, and you can't get it fixed, what choice do you have? Like I was saying, I saw a guy with a donut. How long do you got to drive with that donut? I mean, some people, as little as, getting $100 or $200 tires could be too much. And that's sad in this world. Or it's sad that, you don't have enough credit to even just get the tire. It's like something simple that would make you successful. If you could just, get the $200 or $100 tire, you might not even be able to get it at the time. Or even like we was talking about cars and repairs. If the repair is only $300, and that's your guy doing it, you take it to the shop, $800-900. Your guy can do it for $300. And if you can't, get the $300, and the $300 would keep you being successful. And for one reason or another, you can't, get the $300 that would keep you successful. And you're, on the verge of losing quite a bit if you can't be successful. And that does go back into like things like jewelry and stuff. As I said, the price of gold, what you bought it for, if you've had it for some time, you bought it cheaper than what it is now. It's worth more. And so if you have invested in jewelry or coins or something, and this is something you're using every day, but if you came into a pinch and you needed that $300 to fix your car, you could take this jewelry in and get $300. And there's even a way where if you think you can get that jewelry back in 2-3 months, you can get some riders to keep it going. Well, I think I can get the money back to get this jewelry back. So these are deals that, if you need a little financial help, can get you. You remember a guy said, I remember a guy told me he drove a donut for a year. I'm gonna tell you what the donuts is though. They lose traction. They have very little traction. They have very little traction. But it's funny. I'm trying to think. I had a car in the last couple of years that gave me a full size spare. I don't know. Maybe it was the BMW. I don't remember. But I had a car that gave me a full size spare. Yeah, because the spare to the BMW was another run flat. It wasn't a little. Yeah, we got. I think with the BMW we got a full run flat. I think. I don't know. Why didn't we change the other one if that was like? But I think so. It was a full size run flat. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm not remembering. But I don't know. I could buy another car. I've been looking at it, and it's like I wanted to explore it, but they have such a the Explorer and the Aviator. They have the same issues. And this looks like, it's like the Continental or the Navigator. And I really wouldn't mind having an old town car. I think I really wouldn't mind having an old town car. Even some of the Crown Vics. You can get the Crown Vics that's all leathered out with nice seats. It's technically the same thing as a town car. Some of those cars rode great on the highways. Like I've said, old cars, I'd want a 91 Caddy sedan DeVille. Yeah. 91 sedan. That car rides great on the highway. The old cars I like is a 70 Boss, Cordoba, 77, 78 Cordoba. That was a great old car. A 69 or 70 Thunderbird 4-door. Thunderbird 4-door too. That would be a great car too. Older cars. Because you technically get like a Continental with a Thunderbird on it. But yeah, suicide doors on a Thunderbird. That's a nice ride. And it's like Continentals. It's a place in Detroit that works on any Continentals, like the Continentals of the 60s and 70s. It was called Detroit Steel or some shit like that. Yeah, how long have I been going? Oh, I'm almost, what time is it? Oh, shit. Okay, I guess I've been giving it a lot. Oh, gosh, I didn't know I was going this long. Okay, I'll finish with philosophizing. All right, let me change up a little bit. So, okay, I was talking about, so like, yeah, this earth one time was just all trees. I mean, it's obvious if you just look at everything, it was trees. And if you thought that it wasn't any type of, that life didn't come from trees, you just think that trees was just here and the only type of life that was created out of it was just seeds or fruit. It's like it's impossible for any type of, beings, moving beings that could move away from the trees, but created by the trees. Yet we have several bugs that look just like twigs, right? We have several kind of beings that can camouflage and look just like a tree or like parts of the tree. Why would that be? And the idea of the water tree. And think about what trees can naturally do. Like there's, the trees only need sun and soil. And if it gets too cold, they can go to sleep. Now, I know if it glaciers them, that's going to fuck them up. But for basically what Earth is, and if they're in a certain part of the world, they got it made. They ain't got to pay taxes. They just got to worry about Europeans cutting them down. Conglomerates, whatever you want to call it, that's their main threat. But there were beings that came from the trees. There's a consciousness from that. And just like, the beings that are looked at as being, in heaven, those first beings, that's all they were. So they benefited off the earliest technology that came from this planet, naturally. The ideas of what they created afterwards all came from here. So like I've said before, like a car, everything from the car comes from Earth. So everything is able to vibrate with you. That's the spiritual side of a car is it comes from Earth. And you can, that's why like washing cars, there's a value to washing cars. You take care of the car takes care of you. That's the old adage. And so, when we think about the wood and what the wood means to us, Again, the treehouse. Why do we still live in wood? Why is that the first thing, when Europeans came over here, and even, the people that lived on the East Coast here, why do you think they built wooden structures? How would they know that wood was, and again, abundance and everything, but again, compared to people that lived in the caves. In America, they naturally came to building, things from the earth. But a lot of, trees. And the Indian way was to never cut trees down, to go out there and find felled trees. Because there's plenty of that. You didn't have to cut it down. And so you see there's always been a relationship there between the trees where we want to be, inside of the lumber. The family tree. And people don't really understand what that really means. That means that's where when you look at the way the tree existed was, you really came from that level where that tree was. It's like all your family rests in that area of that branch. That's really where it comes from. Like when I had that experience, it was a place where we went every night, and it was a mold like where you didn't really lay, but you just went into your mold. And it's like, the bigger your family was, that was your area where your family was. Those branches is where all your family lived. So when you came out of those areas, you came out of your family areas into the rest of the society. And so that idea hasn't run away. And the Papival is only only literature that really gives you anything talking about that people were once wood, the Pinocchio thing. But not where do you think even that comes from? You have to think that they one time read the Papival, because that's for Europeans that's their only reference to understanding that people one time were really wood people. And again, we have bugs that look like leaves and twigs. So to say that nothing ever looked like a tree is wrong. We have plenty of evidence that a lot of things, can look like a tree. Innate. It's in them to look like a tree. So that there's so many stories to take you out of something that's obviously around you. And that's why the grasses, because that's what we most have to ground in. That's what I should have went to do, is I should have stuck my feet in the grass. But I cleaned up around the house. I had put a lot of salt, because we have a little weird wind that hits my front of my house and my drive, and I just have to keep this area salted. But we ain't had no snow. So finally, all the salt I put down, I was able to sweep it back up and put it back in my bag. And I washed my car off just to wash it off, just to fuck around. And it's like my neighbor had a little party, and I was like, started doing. I'm like, is this water hitting you guys? Because I thought about it. I'm like, I'm spraying. They down there cooking, and they got water every, and they're like 2 houses away. So, but it's cool with it. It's like, nah, you ain't fucking with us. I'm like, peace then. Good. I'm not fucking with you. Cool. Well. And like I said, I'm not trying to convert anybody. You have to do your own research, and you have to see what you can touch into and what you can't. And that's what it is. It's like, what can you tap into? Like, people study things. Like, people can read Stitchen's work, but what can you tap into about it? It's one thing reading the work, and it's like really tapping into it. What part can you use of it? Like, I wrote the multiple books of Stitchen's work, and I saw the most important thing was the my. Not the Anunnaki, it was the Mai. That was the most important thing that he talks about and has stories about. And it's a little few. It's few, but it's still it explains what we're dealing with now. All this electronics is the Mai. And it's no way you can argue that. Again, I get into so often about the American gods. They show you the path of the Mai. And so, yes, we don't live without it. And like the good thing about these motherfuckers is they see if you on some bullshit, if you ain't on some bullshit. They try to say, well, you was doing some bullshit. And he's like, hey, this motherfucker's with me and showed me I wasn't doing some bullshit, huh? They think about it. Hey, them knowing where you are can work to your advantage. No, nigga, I wasn't setting shit on fire. Yeah, you saw, tap the phone, ping the phone, and you can tell me exactly where I was, and I wasn't there. So it's not negative all the time. They got the ones where I did a story. You fall down, and they calling somebody to find, they know where you fell. And that's not bad. I told a story. My grandfather fell in the house. He was down for about 28, 29 hours on the ground. He was probably in his late 80s. Couldn't get up. It's really a fall down and can't get up. He's probably, 87, 88, 89 years old. He's still living by himself. And my grandmother just, had some shit to do and didn't check on him. And the nigga actually had fell down and couldn't get up. Well, now, if you do that, they got some motherfuckers that'll come. Shit, you can get it into your cell service now. You got the little thing around your neck, which is not bad. So there's positives, and that's how it has to work. Like I say, with driving, the motherfucker can't, if motherfuckers drive and get killed all the time, people ain't gonna drive. And that's just the reality. Think about it. If motherfuckers is driving and people getting killed in mass numbers, so if you watch the news and they said people went out to drive and it was a 200 car accident every day, people would stop driving. But that don't happen. Accident here, accident there, accident here. Acceptable numbers. Acceptable numbers, acceptable risk. It knows it can't control all, but again, it wants to feed. So, like this picture behind me, I can't let a lot of motherfuckers fall off my building if I want to be built. That's the entity. That's how the entity looks at it. I'm an entity. I want to be on some of the strongest land in this country, which is the granite under New York City. And I need to be built. So I can sit here long as this America thing sits here. But I need to be built. And I needed to be built in the 1930s because that's when I came down. I can't let a lot of people die putting me up. And I need to be a certain girth, a certain width, certain height. Right? So if you're supposed to be all that, you can't let a lot of people building you die. So that's a simple magic that shows you an entity exists. All these tall ass buildings, that you don't think that's magic and that ain't entities, especially there on that land. What was the movie last summer? Was it Ant-Man, Wasp-Man, Ant-Man versus Kong? Remember the houses could fly and take off? The houses didn't have to stay there. Remember? And that's a unique perspective. That the house, house don't travel on land. The house can actually fly away and, plant itself somewhere else. Or a group of houses can do the same thing. See, these are diamonds. These are Herkimer diamonds. Trying to look one, which I think I've had this one for the longest. and they facet. And that's what makes it die. Well, yeah. Yeah, they facet. They can trap the light, and then you bring the light in one direction and you can make the light go in another direction, I think is how it goes. This one's a little cleaner. I think I've had this one the longest. And you can see the carbon. This black on it is carbon, like would be, you know, if you get a diamond ring. That's one reason way you can see if your diamonds is real is they got carbon in them, and that's not bad. Having carbon in your diamonds ain't bad. It's not a bad thing. So, well, I guess I don't know. I'm not minding philosophizing. I got a lot to philosophize about. I've seen on videos where some owls that can shapeshift with the colors of the trees to blend in. Yeah, bugs too, though. Owls, bugs, geckos. Yeah, it's a lot of different creatures that that can mimic being a tree or being on the tree, you know, or blend in with the tree. So, you know, that goes deep into, you know, the relationship with the trees. And like trees and fungus, you know, have a great relationship. Fungus is like the electric currents that the network. Fungus come in with a tree group, and it's like, because trees like to live in families, as I was said earlier. You know, there's one tree that duplicated itself 100 millions of times in Utah, and it's just one consciousness. But yet it's put this consciousness, it covers this mountain with its consciousness, and all it wants to be is a tree. Now you tell me that ain't one of the most richest things that exist on earth. This one thing occupies this whole mountain. How can you, how can you be like, that's one of the richest things on earth. It has everything that it needs, and it's and just in nature. You know, when it gets attacked and losing ground, it's that's outside. They're attacking it and trying to kill it. But it's on the perfect place. And all it wants to do is reproduce itself, or recreate itself, clone itself. And this tree knew how to clone itself. And it's the most successful cloner on the planet, is this one tree. So, if you don't think that we can clone each other, when this tree shows you it can clone itself over and over again. And this tree is hundreds of years, 100 and some years old, if not more. Hundreds of years old. And again, living free in the land that belongs to it. And that's, the way the European didn't understand that. These buffalo had been running a certain spot. That's what they owned. If you really look at Dominion law, they dominated that area. So they obviously own that area. And when it was time to move to another area, they moved to that area. But they had done this. And the people lived around it was like, yay, this is their shit. We're not going to build our homes right here because we know a certain time of year, all these motherfuckers going to come very fast through this area. So we can't build, They respected that those animals own that area. And as I said before, those, you can get into this, that John Travolta movie where the roles are changed. And it's not just a movie, but the reality where it seems more natural, the way things naturally were. We built over that. We let them keep that area. And I've said it before, where the Patterson was the main motive because really the planes became obsolete because his cars could fly. So everything was a car. You didn't really need the planes because the cars were just efficient as the planes they made in that realm. The Patterson wasn't even called a car; it was called a Patterson. But we built around that. We never infringed on their, on their areas. We built the structures over those areas. We protected those areas because we understood that that's where they owned. And that's why that reality, understands nature and is for the lucky that are there and experience that. It ain't the retaliation you think if the roles were changed, it'd be retaliation like the John Travolta movie. Well, you become we'll switch roles and you become the slaves. No, it's not like that at all. It's separate, it's a separate world, pretty much. Where the European doesn't exist in America. That's, there is that. There is a world like that. That they just don't even exist here. So you can ponder that if you can tap into that, and it's not trying to be racist or anything. it's definitely created a, how do I put this? Yeah, I won't throw that out there, but it's there too. If you want to tap into that, it's a lot of that, and it's very artificial, but it's there, that's the virtual reality kind of shit too. That's the way they set those up, kind of virtual reality. But my final words tonight is, be positive as you can be. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. You eat something you don't supposed to eat, tell yourself about it. Say sorry. I really try to, do better for you. This is a universe that you operate. So it's cool to talk. And then that's why I love acupuncture, because it's my time to deep connect to inside of me. And remember, there's so many, natural ways to heal yourself. Sound is one of the great ways to heal yourself. Said this before. Go back to my old videos where I do sound the first 5 minutes. That's a beautiful sound bath you can get. Nothing tied to it. It's just 5 minutes of sound. Close your eyes, listen to it. It will soothe you. I'm not charging for it. You can go back to any of my old videos a year or two ago on this channel. And for the beginning, it's none but sound. And it's a nice little sound bath it can give you. So that's something to tap into, because sound and frequency can also heal. Like music, it can move and remove. So keep that in mind as you go through your day. And remember your power. Whoever you are, you're a powerful spiritual being. And don't let anything take that away from you. And remember, you don't want to be happy, because if you're happy, you have to accept being sad. It comes together. You want joy. You want bliss. You want love. Love is supreme. Love has no opposite. They try to say joy and pain. What? How? How is joy and pain connected? How is love and hate connected? I hate mushrooms. So they want to make, things that are supreme. They want to put opposites when they have no opposites. Love, joy, and bliss have no opposites. Joy does not go opposite of pain. They try to give you anchors. You see what they're trying to do? They're trying to give you anchors, because words are spells, but love is supreme no matter what they say. And we can live in joy, bliss, and abundance. These are, things that are naturally we can have when we understand them. And I guess that goes into a little bit of understanding lucid living. Truly understanding, being the observer and agreeing to be the observer. And that's why I was saying, when you look at things from all points of view, That's great when you're the observer, because you can see groups of people together and you're able to observe from every opinion and understand each opinion and each stance. And then you can come back to you and you're like, oh, okay, I see why all of them feel like this. See why this is that. And that's a great way to go through life. When you can understand all the opinions. And it's better when, going into things and saying, okay, I'm already going to see the opinions that's coming at me. Let's say there's probably won't be any steering wheels in the future unless you go off the grid. Well, the scariest story to me, the recent scariest story is that Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law that just died in Kentucky. That shows you, and the other part is Tiger Woods' car. Because Tiger Woods, when they tore his leg up and flipped him down that small hill, that big hill, I mean, that was impossible what happened to him. This is a brand new car. And he misses a fork in the road, and the one he misses takes him down the side of a big hill, flips him. And then you're telling me this lady in Kentucky with a Tesla, some kind of odd way, I mean, very oddly, it doesn't even make sense how she would drive this electric car off this dock, even lost. There's no way that she would drive down the dock if lost. I mean, go back to my video. I show you the routes. Even really drunk. I mean, she would have had to be stone drunk. But like, even if you're stone drunk, you're going to hit navigation. So, you're going to know front, back, left, right. But yet her car is in 15 feet of water and she's driving a Tesla. So if you don't think, and then she's a billionaire, related to billionaires. And if you don't think they killed her, well, you're not doing enough research. They killed that lady and they used the car to kill her. So that's my pause about those cars, because they really, some people say if you got any computer in a car, they can control it. I would say this about that. Whoops. I would say this about that. Them 100% electric cars, they can do it easier than they can do these other cars. And I remember Mel Fire Superstar, he put the kill switch in cars. Like, you would rent a car from him, and if you didn't pay, you didn't make your car payment, he had a thing that would kill your car no matter how fast or where you were. So if you was on the highway and you didn't pay your bill in so many days, they cutting your car off. And of course, the Michigan state courts made him stop doing that, because that, some people luckily didn't get killed. Because you're on the highway and all of a sudden your car just stops. That's a hazard. But that's what he did. He put kill switches on the car. If you didn't pay, your car got kill switched. So he's renting to you. A lot of you darkies out there. He's renting cars to you darkies and he's putting the kill switches on them. Well, I guess I don't know. I feel like I got a lot more. So as long as I feel like I got more, I'll keep going for a minute. I'm feeling kind of nice. I'm feeling really nice. It's nice to prophesize. And yeah, we're going to, next week is daylight savings. So when I'm doing this next week, we'll gain an hour. Yeah. So if I start at midnight, it'll really be like I start at 1 a.m. Okay. Oh, man. I got all my pills. I don't have to make noise, because what I do is I forget my medication, and then I go in there while she's asleep, and I got banging and shit and reaching for pills. So I don't think I got all of them. Yes, I did. Good. And I slept really good last night. I think the night before to go to Iowa, I went to bed at 11-ish. And got up at 5. I actually woke up at 4. And one thing I've always naturally been able to do is, like, yes, I would have alarm clocks, but most of the time of my life, I would naturally wake up. Once I worked somewhere and I had to get up, and I'm a morning person. I like getting up. I mean, now I'm retired, not so much, but for the most part, most of my life, I don't really mind getting up early, you know. Like my ex-wife would tell you, it's like no matter what time I went to bed, that alarm go off. Like my wife will snooze, snooze, snooze. My daughter's mother, same way, snooze, snooze, snooze. My boy's mother, that chick wouldn't work in the morning. Now, my older boy's mother, she was like me. Alarm go off, she just get up. She don't let the snooze. We were both kind of like that. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been so long, you know. I don't remember how she woke up. But I think she got up like me. When the alarm goes off, I just get up. It's the way I was trained, even in school. And digital alarm clocks been around. That's the moon landing shit. Digital shit comes from, that moon shit. The moon shit was a way to sell digital stuff too. Because after the moon stuff, like they even had food like Tang, you know. There was Tang, which they said that the astronauts drink, right? But there was a type of, it was a stick. But the stick was supposed to be moon food, because they could only eat tube food and shit like that, but they could eat these sticks. And I can't think of what that was called, but it came out around the same time, Tang, and it was supposed to be what the astronauts ate. I don't want that shit, And think about the most ridiculous story they tell you. They tell you that they could shoot something to the moon, but when it gets on the moon, it's upside down. So the only mistake happened is it could get through all the Van Harden belt is up there. All the asteroids is up there. It could get through all that to get to the moon. Or maybe, no, it's still shit that you could hit it. And it's able to land, but it's upside down. So that just makes you think about reality, Because they're telling you they can do everything to get it up there and get it on the moon. But it made one mistake. And that seems like a mocking. Like a mocking. And it's like your thinking is upside down almost. That's how they mock us. Well, we can do it again. We can put it up there. And they make you think America went up there 15, 16 times. Remember, the first or second time in the capsule, the motherfuckers burned up. Apollo 1 or 2 or 3. Remember, they was just about to, go up in space and it burned them all up. If it really happened. And that, that makes me think Apollo 2 or Apollo 3, when they burned everybody up, that's when they did the movie shit. They probably because that was before. When they burned them people up, they hadn't been to the moon yet. So that might have been Apollo 1 or Apollo 2. So maybe after they burned the people up, because again, the rockets they say they shoot up in the air, which they shoot up in the air, SpaceX and everybody's Nazi rockets. That's Nazi technology. To shoot a rocket up in the air is Nazi technology. Operation Paperclip. When they got all these Nazis, they said that there was upwards almost 200,000 Nazis in America. That's how many they brought over here. So the Nazis didn't lose. 200,000. They let just freely come into America. But yet they telling you in Nuremberg they're killing them all. And then they let you, they let the Israel come over here and grab an old man. One old dude was in his late 80s, had retired. He had worked, retired. Then they was like, well, no, when you were in your 20s, you was the guard somewhere. So you need to come back to Israel. It's like the way they went over to all these old mafia dudes when they in their 80s, Never take the jab. That was staged. Yeah, exactly. But just think about it. Say, Apollo 2 or whichever one they blew the motherfuckers up with was the one that they was like, well, I guess we can't do it. So we better bring in, what's his name? Stanley Kubrick. We better bring him in. And they were right. Two things that broke the Soviet Union was the space race and Afghanistan. Afghanistan, financially they couldn't do it anymore, and it broke them up. And you watch Sam's War, the Stinger missile, which they shot down in $1 billion helicopters, and Bear helicopters was $1 billion machines. And this thing that roughly cost $10,000 was blowing them out of the sky and turned the war in Afghanistan and made the Russians have to leave. Impossible terrain. And Americans experienced something very similar, impossible terrain, but they wasn't there to win. They was there to get that heroin. It's very obvious. Because if you study Afghanistan, they tell you, if Sam and Sam's War, he tells you, if you read, I don't know where I read this, but if you read about, maybe it's the book to Sam's War. I forget where I got it. But what he's saying, he's like, look, the Soviets have left. We need to set these structures up. And we set these structures up for these young people, then this is how the societies can progress. But if you don't, there's this Muslim underelement, this is going to happen. And that's he predicted it. He said, if you don't put these other underlying programs in there, this is what's going to happen. And that's where the Taliban came in. And he predicted that too. He said, if you don't do this, this is what's going to take over. And sure enough, the Taliban did. And that's the same one that defeated Afghanistan. And when bin Laden, an interesting book is The Bushes and the bin Ladens. And that goes into Halliburton, who really owned Halliburton. That, Halliburton was making so much money, they moved their headquarters into Iraq. I wonder if they're still there. That's Bush. That's Bush's. They were saying Cheney was running. No, Cheney worked for them. When he worked at Halliburton, it was the Bush's business. They bought it a bankruptcy in, I think, 47. And then all of a sudden, Halliburton is cleaning the uniforms, serving the food. So, you talking about how corrupt Trump was. Look at them Bushes. I mean, what does he say? Casper, what is his name? The day before, 9/10. $1 trillion missing. They don't, or 30, 40 billion, and they don't even know, they can't account for it. And he laughs. Where's it going? It's supposed to go to some kind of defensive spending. He laughs. All this taxpayer money. And taxpayer money to politicians is free money. Free money. It's like we pay taxes for why? Why? It doesn't benefit us mostly to pay taxes. Not really. Not the amounts of monies that they make and the amount of pollution that this country supports, yet it talks green. And our Navy is the biggest polluter in the world. But yet they're trying to tell you, go natural, but yet how are you going to make our Navy not pollute so much? It's almost impossible. So they tell you one thing, but they practice something else. So, it's your taxpayer money is more than what they say. Well, I guess I'm going to go on. Who's going to watch a 4-hour video? Not too many people. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I will see you Wednesday morning. Because I don't do Mondays and I don't do Tuesdays. So, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I'm going to go short of 4 hours.